win, or the winner, you're fine. 20,000 people, 20,000 units live, only 40,000 in the pool. Quite surprising. Pools have been good tonight. Maybe it looked a bit tough. Well, Hug the Win's home in the first leg, and 20,000 units survive the cull. Newcastle for the fourth on the card. They are getting close to a start here. The 10 is the favourite. $2.30 on the fixed odds. It's also now $2.30 on the tote. Last start, it was fourth run on with it. Mitch Turnbull's one of the better junior drivers in this series. And by the way, I called Jason Grimson. I called him Jack Grimson before. Jason Grimson's on Benny's. Benny's a virgin, number 2. He's been one of the better performers in this series so far. So right on with it is the clear dominant favourite. Has a good young driver and will be hard to beat. But as we saw earlier, at Newcastle, coming from back in the field can often be no fun. It's got barrier 9, which won't be easy to overcome. In saying that, it's not a particularly strong front line. Let's head to Newcastle. Phil Roberts has gone 10, 11 and 2. 10, 11 and 2. As soon as you know, or as soon as I know, you'll know the result of the inquiry. Fourth against third at Alexandra Park.
A little bit late when that's the situation. So they're starting to score up now for race number 4. All of these rising stars getting a drive in this with a field of 10. Priority past the inside, Benny's a Virgin, Peter Lamb and Ball Boy, Paint Me a Canvas, Love This Dragon, Rebel Shannon, Annabay Al, Right On With It, and Born in the Storm. Field of 10 in this fourth event. Heat 9 of the New South Wales Rising Stars, 2,030 metres for the first time tonight. Mobile makes its way into the home straight. They're about to hit release point. They all pace well. Annabelle restrained soon after the start as the green light goes up and the mobile speeds away. Love This Dragon is looking to cross from gate 7 and is going to be able to do so quite easily. Ball Boy goes to second and Priority Pass on the inside is third, followed by Paint Me a Canvas. Wider on the track then was Right On With It. They were followed back on the inside by Benny's a Virgin as they sort themselves out. Next, further back was Peter Lamb. It drifts back to third last early from Annabay Allen. Born in the Storm drops to the rear. Into the back they run, and the lead time comes up at 31.9. Pressure goes on up front now where Paint Me a Canvas moves up on the outside of Love This Dragon, and Paint Me a Canvas now rolls to the lead. Rebel Shannon moves up to be second on the outside the leader on the leader's wheel, and Love This Dragon ends up third. They were followed by Ball Boy, who's in the one-out line, followed by Priority Pass 3 back the inside, then came Right On With It, then Annabay Al, Benny's a Virgin back on the pegs from Born in the Storm, and last is Peter Lamb. So that lead time 31.9 as they make their way into the straight. And they've got about 1,100 metres left to travel. And in front on the inside is Paint Me a Canvas. Paint Me a Canvas leads out over second, the outside Rebel Shannon. Here comes Annabay Al out 3 wide. It's now making ground and Ball Boy is in the 1-1. Back on the inside, Love This Dragon has got the spot behind the leader as Annabay Al is really pouring the pressure on. 29.5 was the first quarter. Back on the inside then came Priority Pass. It's being covered up by Right On With It. Further back then was Benny's a Virgin, who works off the pegs now, is into the one-out trail, followed by Born in the Storm, and last is Peter Lamb having trouble keeping up. 29.2 second quarter. They make their way into the back with 600 metres left to travel, and it's Rebel Shannon on top. On the outside, Annabay L now sits without cover. Wider on the track, coming into it now was Right On With It. It's making a 3-wide move around Ball Boy, followed by Love This Dragon. Dropping off on the inside was Paint Me a Canvas, and wider was Born in the Storm. They head off the back now and about to hit the 400 metre point, and that third quarter comes up in 29.9, so it's been a pretty genuinely run race. Annabay Al moves up on the outside of Rebel Shannon. It's Annabay Al on the outside, Rebel Shannon, and now Right On With It is cruising up 3 wide and pokes its nose in front. So Right On It and Annabay Al come around the turn together. Right On With It got about a metre in front, make it 2, make it 4, it's kicked away. Love This Dragon works to second, followed by Annabay Al, and further out on the track was Priority Pass. In front though is Right On With It close to the line, and Right On With It takes out Heat 9. Right On With It over Priority Pass, Love This Dragon, and Annabay Al was fourth. Followed next by Ball Boy. The inside was Rebel Shannon, who knocked up the last bit. Then came Born in the Storm, Benny's a Virgin. Further back was Paint Me a Canvas, and last in Peter Lamb.
He can drive, Mitch Turnbull. I suppose the whole family can drive. Obviously, Amanda's the star of the show, but they're an institution in New South Wales, and only fear that in the rising stars for that state, Mitch does the job here on Right On With It. $2.30, one even easier than the price would suggest. Heading back to Craig at Alexandra Park very shortly, but there has been a change of placings in the Peter Smith and Partners Winter Cup. First two are safe, but they've reversed third and fourth. So we'll get the new divvies for you shortly. Fourth has been promoted to third. Third has gone back to fourth after that passing lane dip. And the trifecta will change. So will the place dividend for the third horse and the first four. Pick six and the winner won't. Here's take two of the Winter Cup. Hug the Win remains $461.70. Thomas McBride remains $320. New Year's J now up to third, $3 a place. Quinnella's paid $40.40. That doesn't change. Trifecta changes the numbers. Dividend hasn't changed much. 11, 6 and 7, $414. And the first four now 11, 6, 7, 1. $5,483.40 with $3,300 jackpotting to the race you're going to see in 4.5 minutes. Well, Craig, as we head back to you, not often you say this, but a 13-year-old, your top selection for the next on the card.
Yeah, and the winner of 28 races, Michael. He's been an absolute revelation, this old boy. Not because he just has won 28 races, but he continues to put in, week out. And you think about the stables that he's been through, Michael. I reckon he would have been through 10 stables in his career. Can't say that any of them have improved him, but he just does the job. He goes from one stable to the next, wins, gets claimed, and goes to the next. Now, he's ended up with Lisa Milner, and she's done a wonderful job with him. Pride and Joy absolutely loves this horse, and she said publicly about a month ago that she hoped he would race as a 14-year-old and earn 200 starts in his career. Now, that would be something very, very special. We saw that with Destrios, I think 400 starts a couple of months ago. Well, 200 starts is only half of that, but and nowadays, that's quite a feat. And he's won 28 races as well, so moment of truth. He's open class, but he gets in as a claimer, and he's been very competitive late, second last start. There's Young Stranger with Derek Ball. We'll talk to him very shortly, get this result out of Newcastle out of the way. Right on with it. 2:30, 1:40. Priority pass 3:30. And Love This Dragon 190. The Quinnella's paid 19.90. Trifecta's paid 142.60. And the first four 10.179. $526.30 confirmed. Meeting 21 race number 4. Young Stranger now with Derek Ball. Went good at the park first up. I caught up with him earlier in the night, not just to talk about this runner, but the last two as well. Last week, I thought he was very, very good, and understand he's probably a little bit better this way around.
Yes, yeah, Trevor Grant sent him up, better right-handed, he said, and he was right. He's trotted good last week, so just a little bit rough for the last 150 when he was tired. He was entitled to be tired, so he's trained on well. Expect him to be even better tonight.
In the last, you've got two maidens. Talk about War Victory first. Obviously, a very good run, the Jules. Last week, a little bit rank early on, but he got home quite nicely. Expecting a good run tonight?
Yes, he just struggled last week around the first bend and then trotted good once he got round there, but got a Murphy blind on him, should help him get round the bend, and yeah, he shouldn't be too far away.
What are you thinking of him, Derek? I mean, he's a 2-year-old. He looks to be a horse that's going to make a very nice 3-year-old.
Yeah, big overgrown horse, or big horse, so obviously just being a 2-year-old, he will be better next year, but it'd be nice to earn a bit of money before we throw him in a paddock.
Harry H, he's a horse that's had a few starts. Are you winning the battle or losing the war?
I don't think we're winning, no. What he does is anyone's guess. Because he's my wife's horse, I've got to persevere a little bit longer than most horses, but he's got a little bit of a motor there. One day we might get him.
Of the two in the last, more thinking that War Machine, if he does it right?
Yes, yeah, if he gets around the first bend, he'd be hard to beat.
Here's a nice horse, War Machine. I think I might have called him War Victory, but War Machine in the maiden trot race number 11 tonight by Pegasus Spur. Of course, he ran 5th in the Jewels and 5th last week. Derek's changed the gear on him tonight. Expect a big run from him in race number 11 tonight. Bit of a gear change on War Machine. Make sure you include him if you're taking a late quaddie tonight. Young Stranger in my top 2 tonight. He's a nice horse. Good last week. He did plenty of work and he just kept fighting to the line. 370, 190. Moment of truth slightly ahead in favouritism at 360, 150. I thought the horse that definitely need, punters, is number 2, Tourbillon. Now, the reason I say that is he's downgraded last week from Class 2 to Class 1. He's no superstar, but what he does do is he trots throughout. He's won 7 races and he's back to C1. That makes him very, very competitive here. We took a multi-bet earlier in the night, a $20 one, starting with him to run a place on the first home to win and Eclipse Me to win. Thought it's not the worst $20. I think it was a payout of around about 145, something like that, if it was to be successful. I thought he's a great each-way chance. Horse number 2, Dylan Ferguson, takes to drive in the Smith & Partners Law Handicap Trot. 9, 8 and 2, best of the rest for me. Number 7, Donker, a horse that was formerly trained by Mark Jones, now with Jeff Martin. Aaron White, as I come to you for race number 8, change of placings in the last. That head-on was pretty conclusive. That New Year's J would have finished a lot closer had it had not locked wheels.
You did right there. There could be a case to say that she might have even got there in the end too. If she had have got that clear passage through on the passing lane, she'll get promoted to 3rd there though. In our feature race tonight, 9, 8, 11 and 2 for me here in the 8th, the Smith & Partners Employment Law Handicap Trot 9. Moment of Truth, the teenager. Always a chance in a race like this. Peter Ferguson for Lisa Milner. 8, Young Stranger, very good in his first look at the park last Friday night, when 3rd and behind Majestic Ali. The 11, the Scruff, not the worst in this, Philip Butcher. And we'll put in the 2, Tourbillon. This is the sort of race that Tourbillon could certainly strike in Dylan Ferguson to do the driving for Richard Brosnan. 9, 8, 11 and 2 for me.
Thanks, Aaron. Of course, with that first 4 carried forward, I think there was around about $3,000 going through to race number 8 tonight. That pulls up and over $10,000 now, and you've got time to get involved. Moment of Truth, Young Stranger, Tourbillon would be the 3 that I'd be looking at if you're playing into a first 4. Good luck with your investments. Good luck if you're live and pick 6. There's around about 20,000 that are live with Hug the Wind. I think closed off around second favourite, around about $5. Took out the first leg. You need runner number 11 on your ticket. The second leg favourite will be Moment of Truth, the old boy. Here's
and the Square Gators face up now for the Smith & Partners Employment Law Handicap Trot. Sitting ready. Barrier strands release as they do. Majestic Gal, she went away in a gallop. She's come down trotting now, and another one off stride was one of the favourites, Young Stranger. So he's added plenty to his task, and now Gin gallops in the first 200 metres. Sunset Peak first away from Jomo. Tourbillon trying to hold up on the inside. Jomo trying to get down to get onto the back of Sunset Peak as they sweep across the showgrounds turn. Tourbillon, though, will hold the leaders back. They're followed then by Majestic Gal. Then Moment of Truth, followed by Dunker and Leilua Invasion, the Scruff. Further away, Young Stranger. And back with that is Gin. Young Stranger, the best part of 10 to 12 lengths off the back of the Scruff as they work down the lane. 2,100 metres left to go, and Sunset Peak and David Butcher leads. From in the trail is Tourbillon. Jomo ease to 3rd. Has found a spot on the marker line as they trot into the stables corner. They're followed by Majestic Gal, and then the teenager Moment of Truth and Peter Ferguson with 1,900 left to go. They're followed then by Dunker, Leilua Invasion, the Scruff, 8 lengths away to a Young Stranger, and 3 lengths to Gin, the last 1,800 out as they turn up into the back, where Sunset Peak is settled nicely in the lead here from Tourbillon and Jomo. They're followed by Majestic Gal. Now obliged to sit park from coming away from the markers. Moment of Truth. Dunker's taken that run through on the marker line. They're followed Leilua Invasion. Then the Scruff and Young Stranger. And still back last is Gin, 1:30.2 the lead time. They sweep across the showgrounds turn again, 1,400 to go. Sunset Peak leads. Tourbillon with the lovely drag in the trail for Dylan Ferguson. Dunker's moving up 3rd and park now with Jomo 3 back on the inside. Moment of Truth into the 1-1. Majestic Gal 4 back the inside. Leilua Invasion starts a 3 wide claim. They're followed by the Scruff and Gin. Young Stranger the last 1,200 out. Opening quarter 33.9. Smith & Partners Employment Law Trot and Sunset Peak getting away with a nice easy lead here. Judge Bellin 1 to go. Leilua Invasion sits second in park. Back on the inside Tourbillon. 1-1 Dunker around Jomo. Then Moment of Truth. There followed Majestic Gal, the Scruff, Gin. and Young Stranger the last. They put the stables behind them. They're heading out to the 850. Sunset Peak leads. Leilua Invasion. Tourbillon's had the gun run. 30.8 was the second quarter. Sitting fourth and in the 1-1 is Dunker as they trot through the back. Then Jomo to the inside of Dunker. Moment of Truth has the back of Dunker. Back on the inside then to Majestic Gal. The scruff back in the field with Gin. And back with those as they trot to the end of the back straight is Young Stranger. 500 to go. Sunset Peak comes off the back leading a length. On the outside, Leilua Invasion. Tourbillon will wait the passing lane. Dunker 1-1. Moment of Truth, he starts his run now. Back straight quarter in 29.7. They're followed by Jomo, the scruff, Majestic Gal, Young Stranger, and Gin. Sunset Peak off a very cheap lead. Comes for home a length and a half. Tourbillon, Leilua Invasion, Dunker, Moment of Truth. The scruff getting right to the outside at Sunset Peak. A length and a half, trying hard. Tourbillon, Moment of Truth, Sunset Peak. The Chief David Butcher, he'll get his first win on the card tonight, and he'll do that in easy fashion after getting away with a very, very soft lead. Tourbillon second, Moment of Truth for third, then Jomo. They were followed Majestic Gal and Young Stranger. Further back in the field was the scruff, Leilua Invasion, Dunker back in the field with Gin. 59.6 the half, 29.8 the final quarter. There's a bit of a motor there for this one. David didn't really ask it for the full effort. Sunset Peak, like it did 2 starts ago, it's trotted away with a very, very nice win here. I think there's a few more wins in store. David got away with the cheap sectionals there. Made them pay. Tourbillon for second. Moment of Truth goes his usual honest race in for third, and Jomo to make up the first 4 in the Smith & Partners Employment Law Handicap Trot.
Official placings race 6, the Smith & Partners Employment Law Handicap Trot. 529-348. 529-348. Horse 5, Sunset Peak. Trotted the 2,700 metres from a stand in 334.65, a mile rate of 27.9. Last 859.6, the 429.8. The margins 1.5 lengths, 3/4 of a length, 1 length. 529-348, race 8, Smith & Partners Employment Law Handicap Trot.
Sunset Peak. PJ McDonald, the owner. John and David Butcher, the trainers at Cambridge, and the Chief. David Butcher to come back at the head of the field. Nice win. Win 2 at start number 4. Carolyn Ranson down there, part of the victory celebrations for Smith & Partners Employment Law. Murray Goldsworthy, a race night steward and life member of the Auckland Trotting Club down there in attendance as well. Sundon Sierra Action, 4-year-old Bay Mira's Sunset Peak, was bred by Royden Lodge Stud Limited. 2 Tourbillon, Dream Vacation, Sunlamp, 7-year-old Bay Gelding, B.Y. Lim, the owner, Richard Brosnan, trained at Ardmore, and Dylan Ferguson. And 9 Moment of Truth, 13-year-old son of Sundon. He's a gelded son. Out of Now's the Moment. Miss L.S. Milner, the owner. Lisa Milner, trained at Cumu, and Peter Ferguson. 5 Sunset Peak, $10.30, $2.80, $10.30, $2.80. 2 Tourbillon, $1.80. 180. And number 9, Moment of Truth at $1.60, 160. Quinella, $31.60, $31.60. The trifecta, $261.50, $261.50. The first 4, $3,033.60, $3,033.60. 11 and 5 in the double. Hug the win now with the 5 Sunset Peak, returns $40.20, 40.20. 11 and 2 concession, $10 even, 10 even. 1,278.08 live in pick 6, 1,278.08 as we work into the final quaddie starting on race 9.
We saw Freedom Flyer pick up its first check from box 7 tonight. So Allegro Boom's right in this. So Chambo's going to get a good run from box 2, lined up against the Class 5's last time out. The run prior in Class 4 Company was a good effort here a couple of weeks ago. That was from box 1. So if Allegro Boom does roll forward, we'll give Chambo a bit of racing room on the inside. And one for your first 4. Homebush Ramona's coming up from Class 3. She was back in winning form here last week with a nice win from box 1. And coming off a couple of very good placings too. Homebush Ramona coming up in grade, but we did see kennel mate Val Baxter coming up from grade earlier on and doing a good job. And Homebush Ramona not out of this. No Time Yet comes into box 5, another one that's been up against the tough company 3 8s in a row, but won't get an 8 tonight. Only 7 in the field, but No Time Yet could surprise. And giving away a bit of class, but is capable. If Gary Fredrickson's got him anywhere near right. Brent here for Nathan Newdy. Another one that picked up a Class 3 victory 2 starts back on this track. Then went to the Manawa 2 after that a couple of weeks ago. And coming up in grade for this, but going along okay. 2 wins on the track so far for Nathan Newdy. And high percentage for Lisa Ahern. Really got it together with that Class 3 win. Actually on the verge of dropping out of Class 4, but that run 2 starts back in a tough Class 4 field. Not a bad run. Good luck if you're still alive in the quaddie, place 6. The last year on the program from Hattrick Raceway to wrap up a entertaining tonight's racing here at Wanganui. Lewis sent on its way for the last time. Book your function, ready and racing, and missing the start there. Corborn El Paso along there with Brent getting to the front. The inside is Allegro Boom. Homebush Ramona trying to get into it. Here comes Corborn El Paso charging around the outside. Just been behind we go to Brent, also Chambo. Homebush Ramona, No Time Yet. They go behind the inside. High percentage diving up on the inside of Corborn El Paso, and high percentage will get there from Corborn El Paso. Third very close here. Brent charging home Allegro Boom. Then we go to Chambo, Homebush Ramona. No Time Yet. Well, there you go. Corborn El Paso missed the start. Charged around the outside. Was going around to win the race. And driving up on the inside, high percentage will get the win. Corborn El Paso just not quite going on with it. And it will be the 4 on the inside of the 8 and the 7 ahead of the 1. Well done to High Percentage. Picks up career win number 9. Has run a 17.63. 6.97 the lead up. And the run home is 10.66. And High Percentage for Gordon Scaberis and Lisa Ahern, the trainer, will carry the night here at Hat-Trick Raceway. 1 length 3/4 by 3/4. And gets the win. Lisa Ahern takes out the last from Corborn El Paso into second. And Brent will grab that third placing there just ahead of the 1. Wraps up a good night's racing here for the Wanganui Greyhound Racing Club, back in action on Wednesday. First race just after midday. On behalf of the Northern Trackside team here on course, thanking them, and on behalf of the club as well, we say a very good evening to you all. Thank you very much, Michael, for your company. You have a good weekend, my friend, and I'll catch you at Palmerston North on Monday. Darryl Robinson saying a very good evening.
Thanks for the tips, Darryl. Nailed it tonight. You had a good night at the office. It's always satisfying. Doesn't happen all the time. None of us get it right all the time, but a couple of quaddies for us, and travel home safe. Last on the card at Wanganui, High Percentage, $5.10 and $1.60. Beats Corborn El Paso, $1.60 as well, and 7 Brent at $3.90. The Quinellas paid you $9.40. Trifecta, $186.30, and the first 4, $634.80. The doubles paid $17.90, $4.70 the concession, and the treble $175.60, $175.60. Quaddies 6364, sounds easy when you say it that way. $3,442.70. Your place 6 tonight, $84.60. Thanks to all the guys and girls who do the cold work there at Wanganui. Newcastle Harness is next up. I'm a Player is number 13. Don't snigger when I say that. $3.20 on the option. It's $3.70 on the tote. Another favoured second line runner. They haven't been much fun tonight, the horses drawn back in the field who are favoured at Newcastle. Maybe a tread-weary race. 5.5 minutes before we get to Newcastle, so what we're going to do is take a break, gather our thoughts, have a think about what's happened so far. If you're just joining us, Dexter Dunn stuck on 199, couldn't drive a winner today at Blenheim, hugged the wind. Brett Mangos drove beautifully to win the Winter Cup tonight, and we've had an upset in the second leg of pick 6, leaving 1,200 live. Also, you know now as much as I do, with plenty more to come, we've got harness racing from all over Australasia, and of course later on tonight, Singapore will be broadcast in on Trackside 1 before we bounce across to Trackside 2. That's still an hour and 45 minutes away. Let's take a break and then come back and get into Newcastle Race 5.
Roughie today, 16-1. Now that's what I call a roughie.
Mercy Cherie on the inside. Colby Royal coming back. Bono.
I know it's rough. It's by Tavistock though.
Newcastle is our next race up on the channel. That's still 4 minutes away. We've been talking about the All Blacks versus Wales tomorrow night, 7:35. ABs are $1.04. You're probably thinking that's a bit short, isn't it, to be making any real money? 21.5 point start. But there's a game which should be a bit closer across the Tasman. England versus Australia has been a bundle of laughs. Eddie Jones has got under the skin of Michael Cheika. Michael Cheika's lost his playmaker, Kurtley Beale. They've got a better team tomorrow, Australia. They're still the outsiders on the option, the draw option, 2101. They're $1.95 at home against England, who could have a whitewash of the series. Now, Matt Tamua moves to second 5 tomorrow. That's good. Gives them 2 kicking options. They can split if they end up at midfield, one side, one the other side, which gives them 2 options on the boot, but also more attacking options. So I'm happy with that. And I do think they're still missing Kurtley Beale. No Beale has been a disaster for Australia. Beale not only was their best player at the World Cup as an attacking weapon, but more importantly, Israel Folau plays better when Beale's playing. A couple of seasons ago, when Israel Folau scored 12 tries in Super Rugby, Kurtley Beale passed him the last pass, 6 of those 12 tries. So when he follows Kurtley Beale, sits 10 metres behind him, and the shallow fullback like a league role, he's ingenious. No Beale, they lose not only a long-range kicker, a playmaker, but a try scorer. And it's been crucial for them this time round. They've been inept on attack, have the Australians. Also paying the price for the fact that at the World Cup last year, quite rightly, they played Matt Ghetto, they played Drew Mitchell. They needed to. They got to the final, so the decision paid off for them. But they've got no depth now in their squad, and that's the problem. They have a multiple range of issues, do the Australians. The English couldn't be happier, apart from the fact that they've exited Europe today. I'm sure some of the players probably didn't expect that to happen the day before a test. But yes, 4.5 start. 4.5 the tries, their total tries. I reckon tomorrow it might break a little bit looser. I reckon Tamura will help open things up a touch, but gee, they're in a world of pain, the Australians. And even though the All Blacks are going through a slight rebuilding phase with a new midfield, don't forget Sonny Bill's coming back also after the Olympics, so we've got a lot more depth to play with than they have. Isn't it beautiful? The Aussies versus England tomorrow night. That's straight after the ABs play. The Warriors play at the same time. All of these odds are on tab.co.nz. You know that already. Sort of thing I do after races at night. I go home and play around on the computer for 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, try and just find some odds that appeal to me. When I find the ones I like, I have a play. And England to win the series 3-0 was $15. And it's very possibly going to happen. It's now $1.80 to happen tomorrow if they can make it 3 on the bounce. Okay, off to Newcastle, which is an Australian city with an English name. Meaning code 21, race 5. I'm a Player is the favourite here for Chris Geary. $3.50 on the fixed. It's $3 even on the tote. Has run second its last 2. She's a 6-year-old mare. She's been around plenty of times. She has won 13 on 13 occasions. Second at Menangle 2 starts ago. A Tuesday meeting, but still second at Menangle's better than most here. A lot of these horses from Newcastle just race each other week in, week out. So maybe deserves to be top tip. Not entirely sure. I'll be taking $3.50 from the second line over the mile after what we've seen tonight. Interesting runner here's Afterburn. It's won 17 races, Afterburn. It's out of She's Spicy. Spicy was a little mare we used to race together. Won the Sale Series at Addington. She's been a nice little broodmare too. Afterburn was the first foal. It's won 17 races. Usually you'd say 17 races would be a wonderful result for a broodmare, but Afterburn is in this race at Newcastle, so one would suggest probably not what they were thinking when they paid $100,000 for it at Karaka about 6 years ago. The past. Here's the present. Newcastle, race 5.
Race number 5. Green lights up. Away they go. Son of the Stars being driven with urgency out of the gate, looking to head off Afterburn in that run to the first turn. Wider on the track was GT Wage. Mr. Tapto Lombo just restrained a little bit after the start. Tiny Tinker goes underneath it. They were followed by Freemason, I'm a Player. Stevie Wonder was next on the outside. Image of Courage has 3 behind it. They are Charlie Dollar, Set in Stone and Motu Miss Lily. Into the home straight they run on the first occasion. First quarter came up in a pretty quick 28.7. And they make their way into the straight, and Afterburn was able to hold the inside and hold the lead. GT Wage straight onto its back, and Tiny Tinker now makes ground around them to get into the spot outside of the leader. Next was Son of a Star. It's ended up with the 1-1, and here comes Image of Courage. The favourite is charging up 3 wide in search of the lead. Back on the inside then, Mr. Tapto Lombo, followed by Freemason, Charlie Dollar, I'm a Player, Motu Miss Lily, Set in Stone, and Stevie Wonder is last. Out of the straight they run. They pass the 800 metre point, 30.5 second quarter. So a 59.2 first half. Down the back they run. Afterburn on top. leads out over Image of Courage, who now starts to pile the pressure on the outside. GT Wage getting the nice run in third spot. Then Tiny Tinker, Mr. Taptoe Lombo, Son of a Star, Freemason. It's making ground out wider on the track. Going with it was I'm a Player, followed by Set in Stone, Charlie Dollar, Motu Miss Lily, and Stevie Wonder is still last. Off the back in 28.6. They make their way down the side, and now GT Wage pulls out after having that handy run, and GT Wage strides to the lead. Swoopers are coming from the back. I'm a Player is the first one to emerge on the scene. Around the bend, GT Wage in front. I'm a Player gets to second and starts to take ground off the leader. Then Image of Courage further back, Freemason. GT Wage in front. I'm a Player is coming out at the outside. I'm a Player and GT Wage. I'm a Player doing better. I'm a Player. Nice drive over GT Wage. Charlie Dollar got up for third just in front of Image of Courage, followed by Freemason, Son of a Star, Motu Miss Lily, Mr. Taptoe Lombo, Stevie Wonder, Set in Stone, Afterburn, and Tiny Tinker. 29-4 final.
Yeah, favourites got home here, got over the top of them, did a nice job too, did Chris Geary, and it's been too good, even from the second line over the mile at Newcastle. Heading back to Alexandra Park for the 9th on the card. It's been a long night so far, but some excellent racing, bit of controversy, protests, some back marker overcoming a difficult mark to win the Winter Cup. And Craig, last night when you and I were doing Under the Lights together, I really enjoyed that, by the way, big fella. You said Eclipse Me might be your best of the night. I'm really surprised the $2.80's held up, because on exposed form here, Craig, she's the best horse in the race alongside Killer Queen, but we haven't seen the best of the Queen for quite some time.
Absolutely, Michael. 6 horses under $9 in fixed odds suggest that something had to stabilise. $2.80 at the moment, $3 the tote. Barrier draw, not ideal, and plenty of gate speed inside her, but gee, if you go back and look at last week's run, Michael, man, she made up at least 6 lengths inside the last 400 metres. And what was a very good C1 fillies in Maresfield. So I thought she certainly can win this race, and I made her the best of the night. 341.90, Eclipse Me. Dangers to her. Well, I thought the horse that's drawn barrier number 2, Rock and Roll Princess, at the $8 is certainly each way all day. She's got very good gate speed. I'd suggest she'll get across Vivacious Madonna at the start, and then she's got options to hand to the right one, Rock and Roll Princess. So she's coming out of the same race that Eclipse Me came out of. Eclipse Me ran 4th, Rock and Roll Princess ran 5th, and yet there's $6 between them on the tote. So I thought Rock and Roll Princess, nice place chance. A damn good excuse, Michael, was very good in winning here about 5 starts ago, and then last week ran second to Joe's Dream. That's not bad form, and saying it got a perfect run in the trail after leading out from an outside gate. Wouldn't be surprised if Josh Dickey had a crack for the front here. Really can't afford to go back from the draw over the 1700 metres. So with gate speed, if it gets across them, Eclipse Me may come across with it. So interesting to see what happens inside the first 200 metres into that first bend. 7, 8, 2. Best of the rest is Killer Queen for me in race number 9. Let's get to Zach Butcher, talk about the stablemate of the favourite, and got to go elect to bet. Zach, you pick up one for Frank Cooney and Tate Hopkins in the 9th, and got to go elect to bet. Coming in fresh, nice trial last week, but tricky race this. It's got a nice field.
Yeah, exactly right. I think the hardest one to beat's probably a stablemate. We'll probably just settle in early, and as you said, her first run, she did go good at the trials the other day. I saw it. She won that heat, so I think they'll be looking for her to improve off this run. So as long as we're hitting the line good, I think that's the main aim.
So Zach's with his thoughts about got to go elect to bet. Not very big. We've got a shot of her runner number 5. She's a better's delight out of a very good race mare in Elect to Live, but tiny little demure thing she is, but there she is. Well put together, isn't she? Hasn't raced since the end of November. Been off the scene for quite some time. May need tonight's run, but as I say, a workout winner from last Saturday, and of course in those famous colours. Aaron's numbers are 3758, 3758. He's with Hayley Nicole. I know he's always liked this filly, trained by Nigel McGrath. I think Brett Mangos and of course Barry Purdon doing a bit of work with Hayley Nicole. 3, 7, 5 and 8 for Aaron in race number 9 tonight. Pick 6 is down to 1200 if you're playing into the late quaddie. Quality pool is climbing as we speak, so with a lot of people out of pick 6, the pool now getting up to in excess of $14,000, so a good pool to play into if you want to play into the late quaddie here at Alexandra Park tonight. Haven't heard much from the bookmakers tonight, so just see if we've got anything for the later races at this stage, and no. So, anyway, moving on. Race number 9. Favourite is 7, Eclipse Me. Aaron, head upstairs to you. Tate Hopkins, Frank Cooney. They've got 2 in the race here and both very good chances.
Yeah, you did right there, Craig. Should be a nice little race. This I went 3, 7, 5 and 8 with the 3 Hayley Nicole on top. Good second placings back on the 29th of April and 27th of May. Just a fair run a couple of weeks ago on the 10th of June in behind Joe's Dream. Comes up with a nice handy enough draw. Brent Mangos for Nigel McGrath. 7 Eclipse Me certainly has to be considered, albeit from a wide draw. Got to go elect to bets, showing a bit at the workout. Zach Butcher. And A Damn Good Excuse was good in defeat 2 weeks ago in that Joe's Dream race. 3, 7, 5 and 8. 12 and 78.08 live in pick 6. This the third leg, Fillies and Mares. Rosebank Business Association Mobile Pace. Vivacious Madonna's drawn down on the inside. Into the back they go. We're set and ready. Rosebank Business Association, Fillies and Mares, they're off. And coming out strongly, Whitecliff Chapel with Rock and Roll Princess, A Damn Good Excuse, Hayley Nicole. She settles handy, Vivacious Madonna, got to go elect to bet with its stablemate Eclipse Me. Caught 3 wide to the showground's turn. And back last is Killer Queen, run off the gate in 5.9. And Whitecliff Chapel leads, A Damn Good Excuse, rushes up on the outside, wants the lead, will take over now for Joshua. There follow, oh no, Gallop there, A Damn Good Excuse coming to the corner. They're followed then by Hayley Nicole, Vivacious Madonna, got to go elect to bet, and Eclipse Me and Killer Queen the opening quarter in 28.6 in the Rosebank Business Association, Fillies and Mares. Whitecliff Chapel in the hands of Andre Potama, works down to the judge, will work into the stables corner by 2.5. A Damn Good Excuse settles up on the outside of Rock and Roll Princess in the trail, and Hayley Nicole 1-1. Then Vivacious Madonna, got to go elect to bet, 2 lengths away, Eclipse Me, 6 lengths off the leaders, they pace out to the 800 metre mark, and 2 lengths off the back of the race favourite is Killer Queen. 29 and 9 the second quarter, into the back they go. Whitecliff Chapel leads by a length, A Damn Good Excuse, Rock and Roll Princess, Gun Run, and in the 1-1 is Hayley Nicole for Mango. Vivacious Madonna 3 back on the inside, have got to go elect to bet, Eclipse Me, and Killer Queen the last as they get to the end of the back straight. 500 left to go, and off the back they come. Whitecliff Chapel from on the outside, A Damn Good Excuse, Rock and Roll Princess, Hayley Nicole's had a gun run in the 1-1. 400 to go, third quarter, 29.4. Looking to come forward now as Eclipse Me, then got to go elect to bet, and Killer Queen. They come for home. Whitecliff Chapel, Rock and Roll Princess, Hayley Nicole, Eclipse Me down the outside. Whitecliff Chapel though slips the cutter by a couple. Hayley Nicole, Eclipse Me and Rock and Roll Princess, that trio they chase in vain. Whitecliff Chapel 75 to go. Eclipse Me will make one last rush on the outside, but Whitecliff Chapel, Andre Potama, beautiful front running drive, gets it a half a length. Eclipse Me, Rock and Roll Princess, Hayley Nicole, Killer Queen, got to go elect to bet. They were followed by Vivacious Madonna and A Damn Good Excuse to be the last. 58 for the half and 28.9 the final quarter. Andre Potama with a lovely front-running drive with the Mark III filly. She goes back-to-back. Her June 3 maiden success was very, very good, and she's backed it up here tonight as well. Eclipse Me rushed it late. Will come up about a half a length short. And Rock and Roll Princess will make up your trifecta just in front of Hayley Nicole. Rosebank Business Association, Fillies and Mares. And it goes the way nicely of Whitecliff Chapel.
Official placings, race 9, the Rosebank Business Association, Fillies and Mares Mobile Pace. 472365, 472365. Horse 4, Whitecliff Chapel, pace the 1700 metres in 202.88. Mile rate of 156.3. Last 858.4, the 428.9. The margins are neck, 2 lengths ahead. 472365, race 9, the Rosebank Business Association, Fillies and Mares Mobile Pace.
Whitecliff Chapel goes back-to-back for owners. Chapel Holdings Limited, A.A. Billington and G.J. Shirley. Win 2 at start number 6. Eddie Clark trained at Pukekohe and Andre Potama back at the head of the field. Mike Gibson down there for the Rosebank Business Association, representing the sponsors down there in the Victory Parade. And Roger Barnes, race night steward of the Auckland Trotting Club, also in attendance. Mark 3 Avant, 3-year-old Bay filly is Whitecliff Chapel, bred by owners Chapel Holdings Limited. 7 Eclipse Me, Real Desire Bellamy, 3-year-old Brown filly. Mrs. A.F. Cooney, the owner. Frank Cooney, Tate Hopkins, the preparers at Taupaki. And Morris McKendry. And in for third was number 2, Rock and Roll Princess. Rock and Roll Heaven, 3-year-old Brown filly at a cruisy lass for Stonewall Stud Limited. Stonewall Stud number 8 Syndicate. Steve Telfer, Chris Garlick trained at Papakura. And Scott Phelan. Whitecliff Chapel, number 4, 14.20 and 3.50, 14.20 and 3.50. 7 Eclipse Me, $1.40. 1.40, 2 Rock and Roll Princess, $2 even, 2 even. The Quinella returns $35.40, $35.40. Trifecta, $238.90, $238.90. And the first 4, $2,220.70, $2,220.70. Treble 11, 5 and 4. Hug the Wind with Sunset Peak, and now the 4 Whitecliff Chapel returns $1,103.80. $1,103.80. Pick 6, 74.22 live in Pick 6, 74.22.
Here is whether they are soft on each other as stablemates or whether they drive each other's races and leave each other alone, if you know what I mean. Like if Loveless was to lead, which it probably won't, but if it did lead, would it hand to Starburst Girl? That's what I'm trying to say. Not the only chances in the race. Vapor Grins back in form, number 9 at $26. And Delight Me, who was very, very good as a 3-year-old filly last year, had to be put aside. She ran second to Fight for Glory in that Australasian record, New South Wales Oaks, and then she got sore and they put her aside. Comeback has had 2 very convincing wins here, but second line barrier draw is going to make things tricky. She's actually the favourite, equal favourite on the fixed odds. I would go Loveless to win. That'd be my top tip, without any great enthusiasm for the $3. I just think better drawn than the other 2. but Starburst Girl did get her measure 2 starts and 3 starts to go. It's a very even contest. Morton Plains, who was good last start at Shep, that was in the same race where Starburst Girl ran 4th, Morton Plains ran 3rd. It's got a clear chance. It's no doubts about that. Good horse. Won the 3-year-old version of the series last year. Larry Eastman's got a very strong team. Lots of pluses, no negatives. The team's on track there. I can see them talking to Gavin Lang with Delight Me. So let's join them at Melton.
Do you thinks it's the best? And the fact that you're sitting here in this chair right now tells me you think the same.
Yeah, she's a pretty nice mare. Her record says so. Love List, I mean, she's an M3 assessed horse and raced against at a good grade, got a good draw. Starburst Girl, she's shown before that she can beat some good mares. So this one will be at her very best tonight.
She will want to be at her best. She has got some great opposition here, and it's mostly from Friendly Fire, as we've already mentioned with Emma Stewart earlier in the telecast with Starburst Girl and Love List. Certainly, Starburst Girl is the speed machine, will fly it at the start. If she finds the front, that's her chance of potentially winning the race. Love List can do both. She's got good gate speed, but also finishes her races off really well, and there's no doubt Delight Me is the strongest. She's also got high speed, but certainly her strength is the big weapon she has above the other two. I have changed my my tips here. I was with Starburst Girl, but the way Emma Stewart spoke before, I've done a switcheroo here. I just think Delight Me, her confidence is so great, and the way this horse went last start in the heat of this series was just so good that she can probably circle these, sit parked and get the job done. So I've gone with her on top of the two stablemates, Starburst Girl, whose chances, I said, will be decided at the start, and also Love List. And Morton Plains, the defending champ. Let's hope she qualifies for Larry Eastman. Let's head off to Dan for his call.
On and they're racing. Out wide, Starburst Girl got out very fast, and so too did Miss Dreamin. Miss Dreamin gets to the peg. Starburst Girl is pushing the issue and will cross. Starburst Girl with a brilliant early speed gets around Miss Dreamin. 3 back on the pegs is Morton Plains. And then over on the outside is Glory Days, followed by Love List. On the pegs, Aurora, and then came Vapor Grin. Over on the inside of Vapor Grin, Kiang Callisto from Kira Joe. Settling down third last is Decorated Lady from Delight Me. Last is What's Emma Got? Well, Emma's got 3 big chances in the race. That's what Emma's got. She got the first 3 favourites, and as they head along the back straight, one of those is Starburst Girl, and it's actually the outsider of the trio. Lead time will be pretty good. It was 46.8. So after going fast the first 200, Starburst Girl was able to back it off, and stablemate Love List goes up to second. Miss Dreamin is tucked in behind third and gets a good set. Fourth is Glory Days, and fifth on the inside is Morton Plains. Next the outside is Vapor Grin. 3 wide hooking out as Delight Me makes its move. Then 4 back along the pegs is Aurora. Next is Kira Joe from Kiang Callisto, and at the back of the field as they make their way into the straight, What's Emma Got and Decorated Lady. They go past the 1,200 metres, and shortly the Emma Stewart trio are going to be 1, 2, 3. The lead time 46.8, first quarter 31.6. So the split say that hasn't been run at a fast tempo, and it's Starburst Girl in front as Delight Me goes up now to sit without cover the last lap. Gives the 1-1 to Love List. Leaders back is Miss Dreamin. Then 3 back on the pegs is Morton Plains. 6 the outside, Glory Days. Then Aurora from Vapor Grin, Kiang Callisto. What's Emma Got 3 wide, peels out around Kira Joe. And last is Decorated Lady. Second quarter in 31.6. And into the back straight. Starburst Girl leads by a head. Delight Me second, Miss Dreamin third, will await the Garrard sprint lane. Love List is in 4th spot. What's Emma Got up 3 wide around Glory Days, and on the inside Morton Plains, and the rest are going to struggle from there. Off the back, 500 to go. Starburst Girl warming up now, led by a head 2, Delight Me. Miss Dreamin's in behind them third, and in the centre there 4th is Love List. The third quarter in 28.1. It's Starburst Girl about a metre in front from Delight Me. Love List third. The Emma Stewart trio 1, 2, 3. Miss Dreamin battles on, then Morton Plains. It's Delight Me going up the Starburst Girl. Love List into the clear. Delight Me hit the lead though from Love List. Starburst Girl, Miss Dreamin. It's Delight Me in front. Delight Me from Love List, and Delight Me won it. Delight Me first, beat Love List. Starburst Girl third. 3 outstanding mares, and they're all trained by Emma Stewart. For fourth, either Miss Dreamin' or Morton Plains. Then Glory Days. What's Emma Got? Vapor Grin, Kian Callisto. Further back then to Kira Joe, Decorated Lady and Aurora. Final quarter was 26.8 in the Aldebaran Park mile rate, 158.5. Delight Me, number 12. Very good mare. She's now won 9 out of 11 and has finished runner-up in the other two. It was too tough for a Starburst Girl. Starburst Girl was terrific, and Love List is as honest as you can get, has split the pair. 12-2-6, and 1 is fourth, Morton Plains, just in front of Miss Dreamin'. 12-2-6 and 1. 12-2-6-1. Delight Me by Better's Delight out of Corn Silk is raced by Jay Clements, trained by Emma Stewart, driven by Gavin Lang. And she'll be up around the, or just short of the $100,000 prize money mark after tonight. 2 Love List by Always a Virgin from Lifeline, raced by B&C Cameron, F. Cramery, P. Cameron, J. Harrison, M. Micken, G. Harrison, A. Cameron, the Shy Lad Racing Group Manager, D. Hawk, Sturt Racing Group Manager, R. Mitchell. Emma Stewart trainer, Greg Sugar's driver, and Starburst Girl is raced by B and C and P. Cameron, C. Frick, G. Harrison, the Beauty Secret Group Manager, T. Coates, L. Suzuki, A. Cameron, J. Harrison, the Con Dada Barbie Group Manager, S. Munchenberg, Emma Stewart, Mark Pitt. 290, 150 the winner. 290, 150, 130 for second, 180 for third. Trifecta 34.80. First four 121.10. Quinella 5.80. Exacta 12.50. A neck by 3 metres.
Yeah, as I said, she's absolutely dominating in Victoria, is Emma Stewart. Trifecta there in the Vic Bred Size Stakes semi. And you would say they'll go awfully close to doing the same in the final next week. This is race 6 out of Melton, $2.90 and 150. She ran second in the New South Wales Oaks last year to Fight for Glory. Hasn't only raced twice since. Corn Silk, her mother was a good horse. Better's Delight's a champion. Lovelist second, number 2 at $1.30, and Starburst Girl number 6 at $1.80. Quinella's paid $4.30, the Emma Stewart trained Trifecta. 12-2-6, $28.80, and the first four 12-2-6-1, $61.80. Completes a double, 4 into 12, $13.80. 4 into 2, the concession, $5. Treble, 10, 4, 12, $17.70. Heading off to Globe Derby, that's South Australia, a rare Friday night there, and this one really should win. Number 2, Adelaide. See the $2 option there? The fixed odds, you should be taking that right now. Option 252. This is probably a $1.70 chance, Adelaide. It's run second in 2 of its last 3, and they were both behind Rock and Roll Magic, who's a really good filly, like a really good 3-year-old filly. It's been racing in those Vic Bred heats tonight. Ran second to it twice, then went to Mildura and was 7th in a far stronger race against the boys. Danielle Hill back on tonight, really big help. It's the bet of the night at Globe Derby. Adelaide at $2 fixed odds. Our bookies are giving you a spoil because the other 2 dangers are off the second line. And to be perfectly honest, they're not as good as the winner. Hilltop Sophia goes pretty good. It's not the worst. It's probably the danger, to be honest. The 9 rather than the 8. The 8's not useless, but I just think that the 9's probably the better horse. So clearly, I would take the 2, and just as clearly, I'll be 9 for second in a pretty thin field. 2, 8, 9 should go close to dominating this race. But yep, if I was sitting at home right now having a play, Adelaide $2.10 sounds perfect to me. Okay, heading to Globe Derby, meeting code 25, race 2.
She opened up short. They've had a crack at the southeast performer, Tell the Future here. 360 out to 450, back into 360, so they've really launched into her. And there's been no money for Hilltop Sophia. I beg your pardon, a little bit of late money. 550 out to 650, back into 550. Here's the 3-year-old filly, Southern Cross, Heat 1. We got it. Le Grin galloping position 3. Second row got past her okay. Oh, down goes Michael Harding, and Brad Sims has been tipped out as well. So hitting the deck, Lady of Loxley, and Brad Sims been tipped out a Little Miss Piggy on the track, and she's not moving. So in the meantime, there's a few others that are out of contention as well. Le Grin is out of contention, and also from the inside, Swap for Waters back there as well. So this horse is on the track and not budging, so I think they're going to call this off. And drivers are easing their horses up because Little Miss Piggy is on the track. She's about 5 carts off.
Okay, this will be a no race. That was why they're pulling up. So this race is basically abandoned as a contest. The stewards can choose to run it again later, but what's happened here is, clearly you can see the clerk of the course going out and saying, look, there's a horse on the track. We'll show you the start. The 3 gallop, that wasn't the incident at all. The 4 outside it, so 3's out the back door. The 4 crosses its legs here, crosses the knees and just goes straight down in a heap. And the driver in behind has nowhere to go, and it's got the hood on too. So it would have been up on the chewy, nice and happy. Watch this, just goes straight down, boom, and straight over the top. Catapults him forward, not too bad. Lands on the horse, does he? He lands half on the horse, half on the track, but that's not pretty. That was Michael Harding. He's a cadet driver. He's driving Lady of Loxley. The driver in behind was Bradley Sims, and he had nowhere to go, nothing Bradley could do. So non-race, Globe Derby race 2, crazy old thing there. Look, most importantly, we hope the drivers are fine, and we hope the horses are fine. That's the most important part. I'll report back to you when I hear more, but that race will be a non-event. All bets will be refunded on that. Ooh, okay. Alexandra Park, race 10. 3 to go, and this looks the bet of the night. Dividend's awfully short, but First Home loves the 2,700 metre race. Just loves it. Jack McKinnon should push the button here in the early or middle stages, go forward and get the lead, and that should be it. I thought the only danger was actually the $7 chance Norvik Ruby raced in the Jewels 2 starts ago. Hasn't had much luck around that. Andre Putama is driving well. But as we rejoin you, Craig, for the 10th on the card, look, pick 6, I'm not live anymore. I didn't have the previous winner. I couldn't see it improving quite enough to beat Eclipse Me, but clearly it did. But this one, Craig, I thought First Home, 2,700 metres, mobile. Everything about this race just oozes him.
Yeah, it does, Michael. Stays like your mother-in-law, First Home, and winner of 4 times over the 2,700 metres, so it'll be very, very hard to beat. None of these have actually won over the distance other than First Home. Getting a bit of feedback here from my microphone, so just bear with me. Outside him, Boundary Rose got a bit of gate speed, so I put him in to run second. Thought it might get the nice trip on the leader's back. Mark Johnson takes the drive, only 5 in race number 10. You have a look at the fixed odds place bets here, and you wonder why some of these are paying $1, $1.05. I believe with the new rule here, Michael, if we have 5 runners, they pay 3 fixed odds place runners here. So hence why we've got one at $1.05, one at $1.01, $1.30, $1.45.
Yeah, Craig, they actually call it first 3 fixed betting now. So rather than place betting, they call it basically first 3. So if you're betting into the fixed odds market, it's called first 3, and if we have a field of 5 or more, there'll be 3 dividends. If it gets down to 4, that will become only 2. But yeah, Craig, it does make it a little bit messy, but I suppose you've only got to beat 2 home here to get some kind of return. There's First Home. Watching him warm up, Craig, it doesn't look very nice when he warms up. He's all over the shop, and he's not the cleanest pacer in the world, but as you and I both know, you know these horses like the back of your hand after a while. Once he gets into his gait and the running, he'll be perfectly fine.
That's just how he is, Michael. He's not the most pretty of pacer you've seen go round. He tends to be very ungamely and looks like a horse that'll go to gallop in his gait, but he never does. Actually, one night at Cambridge, I think it was Christmas Eve, he went out a very short price favourite in a massive pick 6 that day, and he was I think about $1.60 in a junior drivers race, and absolutely smashed them there. His forte is longer distances, and he's got that tonight. And as you mentioned, Michael, he's an 8-win horse. He's been right up to about C4, C5, and he's back now to 1 to 3. been very well placed, gets in here as a Class 2 against a Class 1. So 7 First Home deserves to be favourite. If you're just joining us tonight and you've been out and about doing a bit of late shopping, you've wondered how the results have fared, can tell you the first race tonight was taken out by River Emperor very impressively. Race number 2, quite impressive Ideal Flip Flop. They went 2:40 in that race over the 2200 metres, so very quick time. Ideal Flip Flop for Sean McCaffrey took out race number 2 tonight. Race number 3 was taken out by Very Persuasive, continued the Michelle Wallace-Bernie Hackett run of wins for trotters at Alexandra Park. Race number 4 tonight, Atomic Betty, nice to see it get a just deserved maiden win tonight, took out race number 4. Race number 5 tonight was taken out by Djokovic, Luck Chin. Back-to-back wins for Djokovic, took out the 5th tonight. Race number 6, good performance by Hootie Haxwell, the stablemate of the favourite No Way Else, took out race number 6 tonight, Scott Phelan. Race number 7, the first egg of pick 6 tonight, was taken out now feature by Hug the Wind. 3:22 they went for the 2700 metres. Brett Mangos for Barry Purden defeated Thomas McBride, and after an inquiry, New Year's J was promoted to 3rd in front of Better's Pocket. Race number 8, Sunset Peak for John and David Butcher, took out the trot. The 9th tonight taken out by Whitecliff Chapel, 156 mile over the 1700 metres. Quite an exceptional run, really, for a horse that just stepped out of maidens last start. We're up to race number 10 tonight. That's right, 10 of 12 at the park tonight. And we're down to 70 odd live in pick 6 with 3 legs left to go. 7 First Home on top to beat 2 Boundary Row, 8 Norvik Ruby, and 4 Joe and Ed No Better. Aaron's numbers in race number 10 tonight. He's 7, 8, 2 and 6. 7, 8, 2 and 6 in pick 6 tonight. Of course, Nelson second day, Marlborough second day. They will be out for their second day meeting. Of course, Sunday they race again. Harness racing over the weekend, of course. Michael, if you're still there, of course, the big day on Sunday with the Len Smith Mile, Lenny the Shark. Short price favourites. Any fixed odds out for that yet, Michael?
Yeah, Lenny the Shark's about $1.20, $1.30, depending where you shop in Australia, Craig. So no markets out for us yet on Sunday's races at Menangle, but a Hoka Punter's around $5. I would suggest he'll be around that over here as 2 big fella. So, yep, actually, as you speak, sorry, my apologies, Craig. The markets have come out for us, and Lenny the Shark clearly dominates the Len Smith Mile. But we do have Hoka Punter at $5 here. So $1.35, Craig, Lenny the Shark. $5 for a Hoka Punter, and Hector JJ at $8.50. So that race goes at 5 to 6 on Sunday night. And of course, as you mentioned yesterday on Under the Lights, Chris and me races at 10:05 tomorrow. So the All Blacks will be finished by then. We can see Chris and me, who's still the reigning horse of the year, go around. Craig, $1.50 here for First Home. How would you play this race for those who don't want to take the shorts? Are you thinking this may be a chance for the Quinella? Or, here's an interesting one, Craig, group betting. Who do you like more out of the 3 outsiders? Stan Sure, Norvik Ruby, or Joe and Ed No Better? Because you can group bet one of those 3 away from the 2 favourites.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just take the $1.60 on the tote, Michael, on First Home. I think that's the way I played. I think he's clearly the best horse in the race. If he's driven right, he should be winning this race. I know it's short, but hey, there's only 5 in it, and he looks a standout on paper. I mean, he's raced far better horses than this, Michael. He's been racing Hank Bromack, Bevins, Cullen. A few of these, to be honest, they've been claiming races and amateur drivers' races. So other than Norvik Ruby, who had a run in the Jewels, albeit beaten an awful long way behind Rocker Band, there's nothing of that quality that First Home has raced. I thought Boundary Road possibly can run the Quinella because it'll be in the trail, but if I was taking a singular bet, would be on the favourite to win.
Craig, just to interrupt you there, my friend, we had a race before we came to you, not sure if you saw it. Nasty smash at Globe Derby. Lady of Loxley and Little Miss Piggy have been scratched out of that race. They are going to run the race, Craig, so it'll be heading across the track side too for anybody who's had a bet there. I'm sure not too many people did Globe Derby, but it'll be heading across the track side too. It's been delayed. At some stage it will be on track side too. We're thinking in a couple of minutes, but yeah, that's Globe Derby. The race will be run, but the 2 horses who fell, first attempt, will be scratched. Okay, Craig, heading back to you for this little skinny field for the 10th on the card.
Interesting too, Michael, in the next race, voting for the Horse of the Year, of course, was done today, and of course Dyer's Luck goes round on the next, and I'm suggesting would be one of the horses that would be up for running in the 2-year-old category for the fillies. So Dyer's Luck goes round on race number 11 tonight, that 2-year-old division. There wasn't a standout in there, so we'll talk about that maybe after this race. And behind the mobile for race number 10, favourite is at $1.60 first home in the black and white checkers. They've had a win in the first tonight with River Emperor. Here's
into the back, 2,700 metres, the green light up, and the Smith & Partners Property Law Mobile Pace Field are sent on their 2 3/4 lap journey. Boundary Row and Joe and Ed No Better, the first two to show out of the machine. Now, first home will be third, looking to come forward though for Jack McKinnon, back on the inside, Stand Sure, and Norvik Ruby to be the last as they sweep across the showgrounds turn, and first home's about to mosey on to the lead now from Boundary Row. Mark Johnson will let the favourite go and get its top spot. They're followed by Joe and Ed No Better and Robert Argue, who'll be left parked, and they're followed then by Stand Sure, Ben Butcher. And back last as they work down the lane is Norvik Ruby, Andre Potama, looking for a race-to-race double. So first home, the son of Better's Delight, gunning for his 9th victory tonight. And he leads by a length and a quarter and trying to button the speed off here. From Joe and Ed No Better, Boundary Row. Stan Sure's come away from the marker line now to get the back of Joe and Ed No Better as they skirt around the stables corner. And Norvik Ruby, she'll go back to the marker line, 5th and last as they head out to the 1,850 metre mark in the Smith & Partners Property Law pace. And first home, getting away with a very comfortable first lap of the race. Up over on the outside, Joe and Ed No Better. Boundary Row's got that lovely drag along in the trail. Stan Sure's in the 1-1. And 3 back on the markers in last is Norvik Ruby. Down to the 1,600 metres in the lead time, 1:26.2. So he's only had to do a bit of work across the showgrounds turn first occasion, first time. Then he's buttoned it off. So work off the back, 1,500 to go. Leads by a head. Joe and Ed No Better just putting a bit of pressure into the favourite now. Then Stand Sure, Boundary Row, and Norvik Ruby biding her time back at the tail. She's under a stranglehold at this stage by Potama. So coming to the corner in first home, the hands of Jack McKinnon, the son of Better's Delight, with Joe and Ed No Better, a mare by Better's Delight, sitting parked in second for Robert Argue. Opening quarter, 32.3. And Boundary Row, the McArdle 4-year-old mare, gets the lovely run in the trail for Mark Johnson. 1-1 to Stand Sure, a son of Gotta Go Collect, in the hands of Ben Butcher. And Norvik Ruby, the mare by a Real Desire. She's back last to the 5, but only 3 lengths off the lead. So work the stables corner their final time. First home leads, only narrowly though, from Joe and Ed No Better. Boundary Row's had the saloon running behind the favourite throughout. Stan Sure's had a nice cosy trip. And look for Norvik Ruby to produce her sharp sprint in the home straight. She's been going along quite boldly at the tail end of the field, 32 the second quarter. First home through the back from Joe and Ed No Better, Boundary Row. Stan Sure, Norvik Ruby. In the Smith & Partners Property Law Mobile Pace, 600 left to go. First home, the short price favourite. Starts to up the tempo now. Joe and Ed No Better, Boundary Row, Stand Sure, and Norvik Ruby as they turn off the back and they sweep across the showgrounds turn again. 450 out. First home, back straight quarter in 31.4 from Joe and Ed No Better, Boundary Row, Stand Sure, Norvik Ruby. They come for home. First home, she's going to be a 400 metre sprint here. Joe and Ed No Better, Boundary Row, Norvik Ruby looks to cut back the inside, then Stand Sure. First home, Joe and Ed No Better, Boundary Row, Stand Sure down the outside. First time, 100 to go. Jack McKinnon, he'll get his second on the card tonight. Beautiful drive out in front. Looked always the winner when nominations and fields came out, and he's proven that too good tonight. First home. Second over, Joe and Ed No Better, I'd say we'll just get that. Photo third, Stand Sure, Boundary Row, Norvik Ruby. Couldn't find that sprint in the home straight, will be last, 27.3. That's why she couldn't pick up and go. 58 and 8 was the final 800 metres. First home gathers up his 9th career victory, his 5th over 2,700 metres. Jack McKinnon gets his second tonight, as to the Telfer Garlic team. Just a 400 metre dash, and once he got away with such a cheap lead, you were never going to really reel him back. Joe and Ed No Better, Valiant run for second. Stan Sure will just get up for third in front of Boundary Row. And Norvik Ruby in the Smith & Partners Property Law Mobile Pace.
Placings in race 10, the Smith & Partners Property Law Mobile Pace, subject to a close photo for second and third. Unofficial placing 74628.
Seven first time to come back at the head of the field. Scott Plant, W.D. Lightbourne and Brenda Gain the owners. Steve Telfer, Chris Garlick get their second on the card tonight, as two driver Jack McKinnon to come back at the head of the field. Wade Hanson down there to represent Smith & Partners Property Law in the victory celebrations. Peter May, race night steward of the Auckland Trotting Club, also in attendance. Win 9 at start 66, fifth win over the 2,700 metres, seventh win here under the ribbon of light at Alexandra Park. Plant Racing Limited and W.D. Lightbourne, the breeders of the 6-year-old bay gelding by Bettor's Delight out of Slangy Var. Very tight photo second for Joe and Ed No Better. Bettor's Delight, Pocket Mateo, 4-year-old bay mare. For the tailors, Mrs. J.L. along with A.R. The estate of E.B. Davies and Mrs. N.P. Davies. John and Joshua Dickey trained at Clevedon, Robert Argue. And 6 Stan Sure, Got to Go Collect, Star Sahara, 4-year-old bay gelding for S.L. Taylor, M.G. Berger, W.L. Wilson and J.A.S. Lancaster. Mike Berger trained at Cambridge. Ben Butcher, as we take you back to Judge Graham McLennan. No, he's still perusing this photo. Very, very tight photo for second, so we'll wait for that official call to come through on the 10th on the card. I can tell you in pick 6 there are 50.42 live after the favourite getting home, 50.42 going through to the final 2 legs of pick 6.
Official placings now in race 10, the Smith & Partners Property Law Mobile Pace. 74628. 74628. Horse 7, first home, paced the 2,700 metres in 329.4. It's a mile rate of 24.8. Last 858.8, 427.3. The margins, 2.5 lengths, a nose, a half head. 74628. All official, race 10, Smith & Partners Property Law Mobile Pace.
And the tote 7 first home, $1.40 the winner, $1 the place, $1.40 into $1. 4 Joe and Ed No Better, $3.80, $3.80. And 6 Stan Sure, no third. Dividend. Quinella, $4.20, $4.20. Trifecta, $28.70, $28.70. First 4, $64.40, $64.40. 4 and 7 in the double. Whitecliff Chapel and first home returns $22.30, $22.30. 4-4 concession, $31.30, $31.30. Pick 6, 50.42 live.
has won it easily. Fairly away, but he got moving when he balanced up. He put pay to Single Tax down the side and shot away up the home running and has won it very, very easily. Number 8, Full of Rust, defeating number 1, Single Tax. 2, Black and White. Rufus Roughcart has wound up third. Fourth gator, number 4, Flashing Dean. 8, 1, 2 and 4. 8, 1, 2 and 4 are confirmed. 26 and 55 the time. 26 and 55. Winning margin 5. 5 1/4 between second and third. 5 by 5 1/4 were the margins. 10.29 early on. Then 19.97.
8 beats 1 and 2. 8 beat 1 and 2 at the Bulleye Dogs. 2.10, 1.10 for the winner. 1.40 for second, 1.40 for third. Quinnella's $2.80. Trifecta $13.70. First 4, 69.30. Good race coming up at Melton. Really good race. 4-year-old Super Series. Horse you'll know in here. Number 10, Meningate. Yep, he won the Derby last year, won the Breeders' Crown. He's a big rolling boy. He was really good last week at the Ballarat. I think he can win this, but I do think that he's far better from a frontline draw. And there's the horse to beat him. TCB McRae. Greg Sugars drove it cold last week and it looped on them late, swooped on them late. Just nothing went right for it. And I think he can get in front of Meningate here. Now, Meningate following at the wrong horse, and Puppet will have to go around them pretty quickly because he's a one-pacer, Meningate. I think if TCB McRae gets in front of him, he beats him. Solar Sonic has got a chance, but I'm not worried about him being as good as the 9 and the 10. Would I take $2 for the 9? Yeah, I would. They do drive him with a sit, but I do think his sit will be close enough this week to win. The only concern if you're backing him is if Meningate gets around them and by some weird twist gets the lead. Now, Meningate's awfully good. Spoke to Chris Alford last Saturday morning, and he said, look, he's a big bull. He's taken the time to get trimmed up. He's the defending champion. He won this series. He beat Follow the Stars in the Victoria Derby, won the Breeders' Crown over Follow the Stars. He's a good horse, Meningate, without having a good horse's high speed. TCB McRae is the other way. He's got a good horse's high speed. Dan Malecki's gone for him on top, the 9. And then Solar Sonic's the other danger. It's one of the Emma Stewart horses. We mentioned her before, how well she trains. And if you're looking for a bolter for the first 4, number 7, Marungi Tracks, the horse who ran second in the Mildura Cup. Lovely horse. Never has any luck with the barrier draws, but yeah, it's $5 of place fixed and not the worst for the first 4. But I do think if TCB McRae, if Greg can drive it inch perfect, it'll have too much speed for these. Number 9 at Melton, race 7. Let's head on track there pretty quickly because I think Jason Bonington should be standing by doing some on-track interviews.
Seven, 4, 8 in a photo there at Wagga. We're headed towards the first of 2 semi-finals for the 4-year-old Enties and Geldings in the Vic Bred Super Series. Greg Sugars, a little birdie told me TCB McRae was quiet as a church mouse before he got in the track, but he looks like he's got a little bit of white line fever now.
Yeah, that's right. No, he was standing around very quiet before we got out in the track, but no, he feels pretty sharp out here, so he should still run a good race.
We know how quick he is. He'll be driven to use that speed rather than probably trying to get into the fight as per usual tonight.
Yeah, that's the plan. He's proven he's very fast, but yeah, just not going to change our game plan at this stage.
Yeah, he's definitely ready to roll now. The mobile arm's open, so we'll clear the track, and I think that's I think it's all going to work out really well for TCB McRae here because Solar Sonic should be a likely leader, drawn gate 2. It finds the front. Murrumbidgee track's usually driven very aggressively, can get pulling in its races, so you'd expect it's going to be out punching the breeze. That's going to make life tough for Meningate. Okay, let's find a scenario where Murrumbidgee track doesn't pull, then Meningate goes and puts the pressure on Solar Sonic. So every which way you look, there should be enough tempo for TCB McRae, who is one of the fastest horses racing in Australia right now, to get a gun little trail into this race, then rip out at the 600 and probably be a little bit too quick for these. The only other 2 I think can win are number 2 Solar Sonic with a cheap trip and number 10 Meningate, who you can never underestimate, 4-time Group 1 winner. 9, 10, 2 and 4 my numbers. Here's Dan for the call.
They're racing away quickly. Solar Sonic from 2 and out wide on the track. Murrinjai Track and Lucky Lombo have both got gate speed, so we've got a line of 3. Solar Sonic holding up though as Murrinjai Track moved up outside of it. And then on the pegs, Fundamentalist, and 1-1 into the first turn is Lucky Lombo. Then just going awry was Fundamentalist. Might get the opportunity of getting to the spot behind the leader again as they're sorting themselves out. Murrinjai Tracks without cover. In 4th position, Lucky Lombo. 50 inside, Ace Dugan. Regal Ambition is 6th. And then Midnight Delight, the pegs from TCB McRae as they make their way into the back straight. About 1,700 metres to travel. So the favourite TCB McRae is 4 back the outside, tracked up by Menengate. And then in 3rd last position is Soy and Wasabi on the outside of Modern Bliss, and last is Polar Opposite. 46.5 lead time and heading off the back straight. The leader is still Solar Sonic. The Emma Stewart trained Solar Sonic, 5 metres Murrinjai Track. Fundamentalist, stablemate of the leader, 3rd. 4th is Lucky Lombo. And then Ace Dugan on the inside of Regal Ambition. Midnight Delight, 4 back the pegs. Then TCB McRae. Menengate's 5 back on the outside. Then Modern Bliss, second last. As they go past the 1,200 is Soy and Wasabi and Polar Opposite at the tail of the field. The first quarter of the last mile in 30.3. And Solar Sonic is on top. Has had a fantastic season, winning 8 of its 12 starts. Murrinjai Track also has had a wonderful season. It's doing the work, though, without cover. Fundamentalist is on the inside 3rd, just wanted to shift off again out of the straight. Around it, Lucky Lombo. On one rein there, Fundamentalist. Regal Ambition 5th, Ace Dugan shaken up 6th. TCB McRae coming out 3 wide. And Menengate's going to track it everywhere. 29.3 that quarter. Then in between runners is a Modern Bliss from Midnight Delight, Polar Opposite, and wider Soy and Wasabi. Down the back straight, Solar Sonic leads. Murrinjai Track called on now. Lucky Lombo peels 3 wide. Then in behind Fundamentalist from TCB McRae. Menengate tracks it everywhere it goes, and then Regal Ambition. Off the back, Solar Sonic kicked for home. Got 5 metres clear. On Murrinjai Track, Lucky Lombo. TCB McRae still 10 metres to make up. 3rd quarter, they went 27.3. Solar Sonic led on the bend. Trying hard, Murrinjai Track, Lucky Lombo. TCB McRae winds up now, then Menengate. TCB McRae descends on them. Goes to Solar Sonic. TCB McRae put its head in front. Menengate to 3rd. TCB McRae won it from Solar Sonic, and head away 3rd. Menengate finished strongly. Lucky Lombo was a good run. Then Murrinjai Track, a gap Regal Ambition, Midnight Delight. Then came Modern Bliss. Further back to Soy and Wasabi, Polar Opposite. Ace Dugan and Fundamentalist proved a handful. Final quarter 29.2. Aldebaran Park mile rate 156.8. He's a good horse, TCB McRae. He can just make up a length or 2 really quickly. And that's what happened to the turn. He was 10 metres behind. And yet within 50 metres, he was taking the lead from Solar Sonic, who was fantastic in defeat. And Menengate, just peaking at the right time, has finished off strongly for 3rd. 9, 2 and 10. TCB McRae
9, 2, 10 and 6. But Andrew, TCB McRae, he is some sort of horse.
Yeah, he was good. That's the sort of speed I was telling you about. If they can save him for one run, it makes you nervous because at the 500, if you're on him, you're thinking, hey, hold on, Greg stuffed this up. But no, he can change gear pretty quickly. And he's got a good horse of speed. It will be a free-for-all. He's probably going to be the favourite for the 4-year-old final next week, depending on barrier draws. But I tell you what, Menengate was very, very good there. If Menengate draws to lead next week, that horse won't beat him because he can't do the work to beat him. Menengate, that's as good as Menengate's gone, and he only ran 3rd because he's never been a chaser. I'll be looking for him after the markets come out on Tuesday night Australian time because that was really impressive. Okay, we're liking that. 2 to go at Alexandra Park. I'm enjoying the good racing coming in from all sorts of different destinations. Singapore is going to join us shortly, which will be good. That'll be the main focus for Trackside 1 for the remainder of the night, but there's 2 to go at Alexandra Park and 1 more from Melton for those who like a bit of harness. As we head back to Craig at Alexandra Park, and look, Craig, War Machine last week, I understand why Derek Bull didn't take off because the horse was hanging and mucking around, and clearly he's good enough to win this, but gee, it's hard to back him with any confidence. Derek's trying to obviously educate the horse plus win at the same time. In this field, there's 3 or 4 horses, including Demoiselle, who's been good at the workouts, who if they get far enough in front, he can't afford to give them that sort of start, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely concur, Michael. And also he's off the unruly and 2-year-olds against the older horses. It's not easy. They've changed a bit of gear on him tonight, Michael, and we've heard what Derek's had to say. He's confident without being labelling him a good thing. $3.50, $3.90 the tote. Lovely big horse, isn't he? He's a 2-year-old, and you can see in 6 months' time, once he's done the ring craft and done the miles as trotters have to do, he's going to be a very, very handy horse. His run in the Jewels when running 5th was very, very good behind Custodian. That was a mobile standing start. He did step away last week, Michael, but he stepped away slowly. They're hoping he'll step a bit quicker tonight and doesn't get the traffic that he did last week. Absolutely can win the race. I did find one to beat him, though, and it's runner number 7, Demoiselle. This one's got a bit of breeding. Angus Hall out of Cordon Rouge. This is the Walker family. Amanda Kitty's training this one. Zach Butcher's taken the drive tonight. What I can tell you about her is her 2 trials have been very good. The last one was Saturday behind a horse that was placed in the Jewels behind Custodian and the Todd McFarlane trained heavyweight hero. Demoiselle was about a half a length behind, and they were 15 lengths clear of the rest at the workouts last Saturday. A mare that I always thought would win races, and she galloped in many of those 5 starts that she's had. Now, the 2 workouts she's had, she's led both times, so her manners have been good. This is what Zach Butcher had to say about the mare by Angus Hall. Zach, the maiden trot. Demoiselle, I thought, been good at the workouts the last couple of weeks. Ran second last Saturday behind a horse that was placed in the Jewels. Again, standing start, a big issue, but looks to have a bit of a motor.
Yeah, definitely. First run back, and I was lucky enough that I drove at the trials, so got a wee bit of a feel for her, but did things right, stepped to the front, and hopefully we can do that tonight. And if she does, she's going to be right there. She's been trialling really well, and as I said, big thing with those maiden trotters is getting them away, and I'm not the best at it, so hopefully I got me good hands on tonight.
Looks well, doesn't she, parading and getting around the track in a preliminary. No good thing, but backable at $5.30, runner number 7. TCB McRae, $2, $1. Solar Sonic, $1.30. Meningate getting home well, $1.40. Quinellas paid $3.80. Trifecta, $16.20. First 4.9, 2, 10 and 6. $53.40 from Melton, meeting 22, race number 7. Outside the top 2, Ruffy here in Gallon's Victory. Sectionals from last week's race were actually quite good, even though it ran back in the field behind Mr. Natural. The Wallace Hackett team, well, we talked about them tonight, how their team are going really well at the moment. Todd Mitchell takes the drive. Double figure odds, if you like it. It's one to include. And Dyer's Luck, as I mentioned earlier. Race 11, number 3. By the Prez. This one for Gavin Smith. Dylan Ferguson takes the drive tonight. Placed last week behind Mr. Natural, and saying that had every opportunity in the trail. And came up about a length short, but manners were good. Stepped okay nicely. A couple of good beginners in here, and Anzac Dyer's Luck. And got to go Twinkle. They usually do things right, so if she can race on the speed, the 2-year-old filly, she's going to be right in it as well. 7, 10, 11 and 3. Aaron's numbers 6, 3, 10. 6, 3, 10. He's with Granado on top, who is a horse that is progressing towards a win. I think 2,700 metres would suit him a lot better because he's so slow away. But if a few make mistakes here, look at him. He's a big, rangy type by Pegasus Spur. Start number 10 tonight. Richard's team going well at the moment. Of course, Gintari's win another good race tonight, and Torbjorn placed as well. So, trotting team, as Michael said, when they go good, like Luck Chins are at the moment, the whole team seem to go well, and Richard's team are going very nicely at the moment. Had a winner with his trotter at good odds a couple of weeks ago in Majestic Gal. So Richard Brosnan, a guy that predominantly has the trotters, and this one a big son of Pegasus Spur. Michael, if you're there, got the All Blacks going round on the weekend against Wales. I thought they took a long time to get into their straps last week, 10-all at half time, but they drew away in the second half. What are we expecting for the third test? Okay, so Michael not there at the moment. He's probably popped away for a Subway or a sandwich like he does on a Friday night. In fact, he's dashing back from his Subway or sandwich or whatever else he's been eating from the local petrol station in between races. Michael, if you're there, just talking about the All Blacks. Super win last weekend. They drew out in the second half. What are we expecting in the third test?
Mate, I thought the 21.5 points was an awfully big start for the Welsh, Craig, for two reasons. First of all, Bowden Barrett, his goal kicking hasn't been outstanding, and you have George Moalo, who's only played one game for the All Blacks, playing at centre. Now, Ryan Crotty and George Moala, I doubt, have met each other apart from head-on. So they wouldn't have much time together, and then you've got a situation where what are they going to do at the back? Are they going to put Bodie back to full-back after half-time, in which case Lima Sapawanga needs game time? This could be a totally different backline in the second half from the first half. And I'm not sure this is a world-class centre pairing. I think we have a world-class centre pairing coming up potentially in Sonny Bill and Malachi Fekitoa, but I think Steve Hanson's rolled the dice here and said, look, we're going to win, but we need to blood players for the championships coming up. And I think 21.5 points is a lot of points. For another reason too is that they kick their goals. Dan Biggar's a very good goal kicker. So Craig, if you're thinking they'll kick 12 points, the Welsh, then you're saying the All Blacks have to score 33, and then you say to yourself, well, the Welsh will probably score a try or two because they've scored 3 tries in both games so far. All of a sudden, you end up having to score 40 points as the All Blacks. So Craig, that's a lot of points. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I do think that 21.5 points is a very healthy start. Let's not forget in the series so far, the All Blacks were drawn at half-time in one game and behind at half-time in another, Craig. Now, if you're betting in play, and that's the situation at half-time tomorrow, I'm not saying it will be, but if that situation's on, then the 21.5 points is going to be severely trimmed back. And of course, betting in play, you can cover the other option. So yeah, I think it's a very fair amount of points, and even though they have had a very tough tour, the Welsh, 3 losses, let's not forget they had 7 guys backing up from Waikato into the second test. They've had a week off, Craig, so they're probably as well prepared for this as the All Blacks. So lots of reasons to think the 21.5 is a fair start. Just the one thing that could bother you is maybe the Welsh are half on the plane already, ready to go home. It's been an awfully long season for these boys, but to counter that, Warren Gatland is a stickler for getting things done the right way. It'll be great fun, Craig. Only disappointment about the game is the fact that it's on the same time as the Warriors. I know you're more of a leaguey than a rugby man, Craig. Which one do you turn to?
I'll be watching the Warriors, Michael. Of course, they take on the Sharks, but I will be recording the All Blacks as well. But, mate, I struggle to see the Warriors beating Cronulla. I think they're $1.33 Cronulla, and the Warriors are about $3. Cronulla just flying at the moment, and I think the whole team backing up from State of Origin, Paul Gunn on the team. So, great watch. The Warriors chasing 3 wins in a row, but yeah, the Sharks, Mark McNamara's team, absolutely flying at the moment. They'll have to lift to a different level, I think, to get over them tomorrow night. But great watching anyway. Plenty to watch. You flick between channels and watch the racing, the rugby and the league. Get upstairs to Aaron White for race number 11 tonight. Aaron, maiden trot never easy here. Manners are the key. 6 on top for you, Granada.
Smith and Partners Disputes Resolution Trot, 2,200 metres. The maiden Square Gators facing up to starter Frank Phelan. The second to last on Hug the Winds, Smith and Partners Lawyers Winter Cup night. We're just about set. In fact, Granado putting on a bit of a show out the back. The barrier strand releases now. Dye's Luck was a wee bit tardy off the mark. King David came away in a pace, so he's been broken up and taken back towards the tail of the field. Anzac first out, got to go Twinkle. Coming forward out wide, a War Machine. Back on the inside, Lindy's Dream, then Dye's Luck. Demoiselle safely on the journey as they get around the stables corner. Then came Granado. They're followed by Gallion's Victory, King David. And after an early mistake, Harry H is now now No Chance. 1,800 metres left to go, and Anzac leads War Machine, a length between those. In third is Lindy's Dream as they trot up into the back straight. 2 lengths Got to Go Twinkle. Similar margin Demoiselle on the outside of Dies Luck. Then Granado. 2.5 away to Galleon's Victory. And the last of the winning chances as they click off the lead time, and 50.3 is King David. Out of commission after an early gallop, Harry H. So they work off the back and sweep across the showgrounds turn, and a new leader, War Machine's taken over for Derek Ball over Anzac. Got to Go Twinkle, third and Park. Back on the inside then to a Lindy's Dream. 1-1 Demoiselle. Back on the inside Dies Luck. She's 4 back against the markers. Granado to its outside on the back of Demoiselle. They're followed then by Galleon's Victory. And looking to come forward now out 3 wide is King David and Sean McCaffrey. Through the lane they come, 34 and 2, the opening quarter of the Smith & Partners Disputes Resolution Trot. And War Machine leads from Got to Go Twinkle, and King David striding up with purpose out 3 wide. Judge Bellin 1 to go. Anzac trailing 1-1 Demoiselle. Lindy's Dream 3 back on the inside. Granado a length off that. They're followed by Dies Luck the inside of Galleon's Victory. No Chance to Harry H. They put the stables behind them. They head out to the 850. And War Machine leads Got to Go Twinkle. King David doing it tough on a limb out 3 wide. Then Anzac second quarter 32.3. In the 1-1 as they trot through the back straight, Demoiselle. Here's Galleon's Victory striding up out 3 wide. Lindy's Dream, Granado and Dies Luck 600 to go. War Machine's just come away from the markers here. Anzac gets through on its inside out wide. Got to Go Twinkle in Demoiselle. Lindy's Dream now has the trail as they turn off the back. They're followed by King David, Granado, Dies Luck and Galleon's Victory. 400 left to go. Third quarter. 29.8. Anzac's come through to lead War Machine. Got to Go Twinkle. Lindy's Dream. Demoiselle and Granado, they come for home. Anzac, War Machine. Got to Go Twinkle joins in. Lindy's Dream. Demoiselle to the outside. Granado's run up into a pocket and behind as War Machine takes over again. Got to Go Twinkle right there. They're followed Anzac. War Machine. Got to Go Twinkle. Granado late. War Machine. Got to Go Twinkle. War Machine. He's got all the guns out. He's too good. War Machine. Boy, wanted to do 1,000 things wrong, but he's got the win. Got to Go Twinkle second. Third photo, Demoiselle and Granado. They were followed by Anzac and Galleon's Victory. Back in the field to Lindy's Dream, King David, Dies Luck, and the last across Harry H. 59.9, 30.1 the final 400 metres. Nice win, War Machine. The son of Pegasus Spur, 2-year-old. He's got a bit of ability, plenty to learn. He ran off the markers through the back straight, which allowed Anzac to get through on his inside. Derek Ball didn't panic, just let him bowl along outside the leader at that point. He's taken over again at the 175, holds off the game challenge again of Got to Go Twinkle there for a second, and a photo for third in the Smith & Partners Disputes Resolution Trots.
Official placings, race 11, the Smith & Partners Disputes Resolution Trot. 10-4-7-6-1-9. 10-4-7-6-1-9. Horse 10, War Machine, trotted the 2,200 metres from a stand in 256.8. A mile rate of 29.3. Mile rate, last half of 59.9, the 430.1. The margins are neck, 1.5 lengths ahead. 10-4-7-6-1-9. All official, race 11, Smith & Partners Disputes Resolution Trot.
War Machine back at the head of the field, raced by KC along with Mrs. J.L. Baines. Congratulations to you and to at start number 6 for your 2-year-old son of Pegasus Spur and our Super Ran. 2-year-old Bay Colty is back at the head of the field. Wendy Alexandra down there for Smith & Partners Disputes Resolution. Roger Barnes, race night steward of the Auckland Trotting Club, also in attendance with the victory celebrations. Nice win by a War Machine, out toughing them here in race 11. Derek Ball, the trainer driver out of Pukekohe. War Machine, bred by Trish Green along with Mrs. J.M. Langdon, and takes the second to last on the card in good fashion in the end. 4, Got to Go Twinkle, finds another one better tonight, but another game effort by her. Got to Go collect 5-year-old Bay Mare at a perfect star. Mrs. B.A. O'Brien along with Mrs. L.P. Hopkins and R.W. O'Brien, the owners. Kenny Safont trained at Cumu, Peter Ferguson. And 7, Demoiselle for third, the Angus Hall brown 4-year-old mare at a Cordon Rouge. K.A. Walker, G.D. Hampson and the Demoiselle Syndicate, the owners. Amanda Kitty trained at Pookie and Zach Butcher. Number 10, War Machine, $3.30 on the win tote, $1.60 the place, $3.30, $1.60. 4, Got to Go Twinkle, $2.20, $2.20. And 7, Demoiselle, $1.90, $1.90. Quinella, $12.50, $12.50. Trifecta, $115.40. $115.40. And the first 4, $745.50, $745.50. Pick 6, 9.66 live going into the final leg. 9.66 live units remaining in pick 6.
Mile in front, and it is Mr. Try who wins it by about 6. Second goes the way of Silver Tycoon, Big Banker third, Balboa fourth, and further back then for Gladica, Golden Jade. In behind those, Shiltron being followed by Claremont Club. Then came Patterson Road. A long way back then to Scimitar, Gladica back there with also King Savinsky and Blademeister towards the tail. Well, he's a funny old horse, Mr. Try, because he's now won 2 races. And the 2 wins he's had, he's absolutely run them ragged. Amazing when you think and when you consider the quality of the 2 wins that he's had, that he hasn't won a few more races. But anyway, he got his payday today. And other thing you wouldn't believe is how Big Banker actually beat him last time. One thing that played into his hands tonight, I think the tempo was pretty kind to him up on the pace, and I sense that Beasley was getting a little bit worried, and he took off a fair way from home to try and improve his position. But look, he got within a few lengths, but as soon as he did, and he'd been on the move for about 300 or 400 metres, as soon as he got within a couple of lengths, Boss pushed the button on this one and he just took off Mr. Try. But yeah, interesting runner in the fact that he's now had just the 2 wins through his career, and they've been huge wins. He's won this by 7 3/4 lengths. So just go back through his record. His last win, he won by 4 lengths. So he's had 2 wins for a combined tally of 11 3/4 length in margins, if you get my drift. And he's won easily, and he could have won by further. There's Boss saying, how easy is this game in Singapore? Group 1s and now Class 5s. 8, 3, 6 and 5, 7 3/4 by 3/4, 146.13.
Yeah, favourite spanked them there for Bossy. It's won by 7 and a bit. And as you said, hard to believe it's only won the 2 races. Off to Melton for the 2-year-olds. This is interesting. Tingira Beach has come all the way from New South Wales and ran second last week to Our Little General. Gets a bit of draw over Our Little General here. Now, if you're looking at that and saying, who's Al Tritton? That's Lauren Pinella. She married Shane Tritton, the trainer, in Hawaii about a month ago. So she's now Lauren Tritton. So a name you probably haven't seen much of, but she'll be in the all pink colours you know so well, the pink sulky, the pink headgear. Basically, it's the Tritton Pinella team is now the Tritton team. So Our Little General's interesting. He's won a 5 of 7. A really nice horse, but probably one of those nippy little 2-year-olds who's just not got the scope. Chris Alford, Emma Stewart, leading combination. It's pretty hard to go past him. I'm really surprised the gap between these two is $1.95 for one and $4.50 for the other, because Our Little General beat him last start. I know barrier draws are barrier draws, and they do love to run their horses off the gate, the Tritton team, and for that reason, the 4 might land in front and just keep on trucking. But Our Little General shouldn't be $4.50. Simple as that. Only 2 winning chances, I would have thought. The other danger, if you're having a little place bet and you feel like having a little nibble, number 13, Rapper's Delight, goes pretty good. Don't mind him. Jeff Webster drives this one himself. He's a son of Better's Delight out of Christian Cullen. That's the Golden Cross, of course. Out of Charlotte Church, actually, a mare which I think Tony Hurley trained. But that's the Golden Cross. Better's Delight across the Christian Cullen mare. Really good last week at Bendigo. Won his heat of this series in a good time. He's good enough to place here. So 13 for a place. And even though the 4 might win, I do think the 10's too long. Let's join Jason Bonington talking to the drivers on track at Melton.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a lot better with age. He is a really nice horse. He's still a little bit immature, and from the draw, you know, you sort of draw close enough to him. I say he can, but in saying that, you know, if he qualifies and everything goes right and you get to draw in the final, yeah, he certainly can.
Just real high speed, his weapon early doors?
Yeah, yep. I think we have a fair bit of bottom to him too, but at the minute he's got a lot of high speed, yeah.
I like the sound of that. I really like this horse, Hashtag. I think it's got a lot of ability. We might head to Geelong if they're ready for us now, and then come back here and see if we can't speak to a couple of more drivers here as we head towards the 8th race in the program. And let's go.
Yeah, that's what kills it, doesn't it? That absolutely kills it, the coverage in Australia. And that's one of the problems harness racing has in that country. They literally have a massive night like this. Now, if this was Alexandra Park, we'd be talking to Craig for 7 minutes with Aaron before each race. That's what we'd be doing if it was a feature race like it is at Melton. Over there, harness racing in Australia, talk for a little while, go to the pups, come up with this. There'll be a gallops race somewhere at Cranbourne under the lights or someplace. It just gets smashed, harness racing in Australia. It really does. I'm not saying there's a way around it. I'm not saying I know how to fix it. But their feature race nights just get treated like, I don't know, Hutt Park in the old days. It's, you know, you can complain as much as you like about trackside. I complain about trackside too. But the bottom line is our lead-in times for all 3 of our codes are enormous compared to Australia on trackside 1 as opposed to trackside 2, whereas feature racing at Melton tonight, you're getting more lead-in New Zealand than you are in Australia. Okay, back after the Greyhounds, we go to Melton.
Old I've got, and I think he's up in the top half dozen in the state. So yeah, the barriers, you know, could be a disadvantage, but if there's a bit of action on it, you know, they can come from back as well.
Has he kept on improving through his 2-year-old yet?
Oh yeah, I think he's, you know, he's always been a nice horse, and I think I'd probably say he's, you know, going as good as he was, but he's probably strengthened up a little bit.
You know, it's been one of those years, I think, where the horses who were up early have been able to maintain their form really well. The mobile arm's open, so we'll clear the track now. But I thought Rapper's Delight was somewhere in the mix. The draw has hurt his chances. I think Tingira Beach, we spoke to Shane Tritton a little earlier. It's the horse to beat. I thought it was the equal of any run in the heats of this series a couple of weeks back at Bendigo. And with that barrier draw advantage over Our Little General, who's got incredible high speed, but we'll have to probably spot Tingira Beach a fair margin in transit. I think The cards have all fallen the right way for number 4, Tingira Beach. Our Little General, no doubt the hardest to beat. As I mentioned, he's got a terrific turn of speed, and he'll probably be even better now than he was in the heat a fortnight back when he got a little bit fortunate to be able to run down Tingira Beach. But he's been a great horse right from the start of his juvenile season. Rapper's Delight I've thrown in for third, but a lot of untapped horses here. Solid as a Rock, Hashtag, Canada Bay, Bundy Playboy, Island Special Major. They've all got talent, but we'll find out a little bit more about them tonight. Here's Dan for the call.
Already race 8, 22.40, the green light on. And they're racing. Galloping on the second line was Hashtag. And getting away nicely is Star of Sahara from the inside gate. It's Star of Sahara pushing through as solid as a rock, gets level, and 3 out Tingira Beach is pushing on. Just in behind them, Bundy Playboy and Pyrrhic Dancer going into the first turn. As Star of Sahara holds up here, but the favourite still pressing on out 3 wide, Tingira Beach. Back in 6th position is Wardan Express, and then out wider on the track trying to press on around them is the Defiant. As the favourite goes clear now, Tingira Beach takes up the running with 1,800 metres left to travel. So from midfield, the Defiant let down is sprinting around the outside. Back along the pegs is Canada Bay saving ground, and then came Our Little General as Wardown Express takes off ahead of it. Hashtag, who went rough early, is back third last from Rapper's Delight, and out to the tail of the field is Island Special Major. 46.2 for the lead time, and Tingira Beach, the $2.10 favourite on Super Tab, is the leader. It's 3 metres in front of going up to second, Wardan Express to sit without cover, and leaders back Star of Sahara. The Defiance fourth, and now Our Little General takes off. It's whipping around them 3 wide. 3 back along the pegs is Bundy Playboy. On its outside is Solid as a Rock. And then came Canada Bay, peeling 3 wide from the back of the field, Rapper's Delight, and tracking it forward is Island Special Major. Hashtag last on the inside of Pyrrhic Dancer. The leader, the favourite, Tingira Beach, with a lap to go. First quarter, 30.8. Getting up to second, Rapper's Delight. Leaders back, Star of Sahara. Our Little General now in the 1-1. Then Wardan Express after a mid-race move. He's almost back to the same spot he started in. 3 back along the inside is Bundy Playboy. 3 wide, and commencing its run forward is Island Special Major, tracked up by Pyrrhic Dancer. In between runners is the Defiant, who was without cover at one stage. It's back third last, as Solid as a Rock takes off, and then Canada Bay, and Hashtag is at the rear. 31.4 for the second quarter, and the leader, Tingira Beach, with Lauren Tritton down the back straight, starts to lengthen now and led 5 metres. Second is Rapper's Delight. Star of Sahara reined up third. Held up now is Our Little General. Out 3 wide is Island Special Major, and then came Bundy Playboy from Wardown Express. They hit off the back straight. Third quarter in 28.2, and it's Tingira Beach, 5 metres clear of Rapper's Delight, battling on. Our Little General can get out now, but Tingira Beach raced away. Favourite opens up. Tingira Beach will turn 10 metres clear. Our Little General starts to run on, and then came Rapper's Delight. Tingira Beach has got a healthy lead on Our Little General with 100 left to travel. Tingira Beach nicely clear. Our Little General can't get to it, and Tingira Beach is impressive. Wins by 12 metres. Our Little General's run second, 12 metres away third. Rapper's Delight. Canada Bay fourth, and then came Bundy Playboy. Island Special Major wasn't a bad run, and then Wardown Express. Further back then to the Defiant, Solid as a Rock, well back Pyrrhic Dancer, Star of Sahara dropped out, and Hashtag likewise. 28-1 the final quarter, and the Aldebaran Park mile rate was 158.5.
Yep, got the lead in the early stages. Actually had to work around the first bend to get the lead, but it smashed them, Tingira Beach, the son of some beach somewhere, and they actually toyed with the idea of whether this horse could come to the jewels, but not for long. And Our Little General ran second, but he was outpointed there. So, as I said, he's only a bit of a nippy, speedy, sort of squibby horse, but as it turned out, the $1.90 for that horse is probably all right. Heading back to Alexandra Park, we'll confirm Melton for you shortly. This is our last domestic race. It's been a long day for the crew here at Trackside. It's been a lot of domestic racing today for a Friday in winter, and it's not an easy one. It's only a small field. As we return to Craig Thompson, Craig, I'll be honest with you, mate, I'm really surprised Urban Tigers are short. I know Mango might get across them, he might get the lead, but I think it's had plenty of chances, Craig. I'm not sure I want it at 220. I think Rack's Mark is at least as good a chance at 480, and Mark of Integrity, who I thought was average last time, but before that was better. Just thought the 220 here, Craig, wasn't quite indicative of its real chances.
It's hard to tip against him, Michael. The reason why is when you look at the few of these, they've had as many convictions. Rax Max had 20 starts, hasn't broken through for a win yet, 5 placings. Market of Integrity sat in the trail last start and I thought went just fair behind Formula 1. Machine Guns and Gems is going around for its 9th occasion tonight. Sky Diamond's probably got less convictions of many because it's only had the 1 start. Trial form was just fair last weekend. Steady Rain's been quite good at the trials, Michael. I thought it wouldn't be the worst chance in this race, and Klondike Spirit is your outsider at 20-1. So I thought Urban Tiger has been racing significantly stronger maiden fields than this, and last week he couldn't steer on Brett Mangos. He was on 1 rein the whole way. I was prepared to forgive him that run. Prior to that, he got beaten half a length behind Star Galleria, and there was a cricket pitch back to 3rd. If he is going to stand up tonight, would be the night, Michael, and it'd be my last chance. But I think if I was having a bet in the last, and I'm not having a good night, Urban Tiger at the 220 is where I'd be looking.
Mate, what did you make of Mark of Integrity last week? Because I thought Fresh Up it was really good. Admittedly, it was a Cambridge Tuesday type race. It wasn't anything super strong. But last week, it raced weak. I thought it had every chance in the trail and just didn't make any ground at all.
Yeah, it can be a 2-year-old thing, isn't it? They tend to go through growing spurts. Its first up run was 2:46 at Cambridge behind Dreamy Night, sat in the trail, got a nice run. Last week again, 46 behind Formula 1. Formula 1 hasn't stacked that form up tonight, but Draw's going to put it in the right spot. And we'll hear now from Zach Butcher what he thought the chance of the son of McArdle is. Zach, you drive again, 1 for Stephen Reid, Simon McMullen and Market of Integrity. Just a 2 starts, 2 placings, comes up with a nice draw and should be competitive here.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a little bit of gate speed and he should be able to put himself in a perfect position to be a chance. But I think he's only going to get better. He'll come back better as a 3-year-old and he's still got a bit of strengthening up to do. But hopefully we can maybe trail an Urban Tiger or something like that and that'll be his best chance and he'll be right there.
Mate, good book of drives tonight, all the best, and let's hope you get a couple home.
Yeah, he's hoping.
He won one earlier on the night with Atomic Betty in race number 4, and he was placed with Highland Star and Demoiselle later in the night, and still has 1 to go with Mark of Integrity in the last. Tingara Beach, 210, 140. Our Little General, 140. Rapper's Delight, 320. The Quinellas paid $3. Trifecta on 4, 10 and 13. $18.30. The first 4 of 4, 10, 13 and 11, $150.60. Melton meeting 22, race number 8. Those that are live in pick 6, and there are 7 of you, or 7 tickets live going into the last leg. You've needed to Hug the Wind, Sunset Peak, Whitecliff Chapel First Home and War Machine. Pick 6 payouts I will give you right now. Pick 6 will pay $22,000 with Mark of Integrity, $18,000 with Raxmac. No ticket with Machine Guns and Gems. Urban Tiger's your favourite way at around about $9,500. Sky Diamond, $28,000. Be a partial ticket on Steady Rain and no ticket on Klondike Spirit. Those you will pays in the pick 6, and if you want a quaddie, give them to you as well. Mark of Integrity, $400 with Raxmac, $3,000 with Machine Guns and Gems. Favourite way, obviously, Urban Tiger, $252 in the quaddie, $749 Sky Diamond, $1,700 for Steady Rain, and $14,000. Good on you if you've got Klondike Spirit. You'll be shouting for it to win the last leg of the quaddie. Seeing we're getting through from the bookmakers. It's been a relatively quiet night tonight for the last, and nothing through from them. Also, harness racing will continue over the weekend, of course. Second day of the Nelson form, pick 6 there on Sunday as well. So they have got a 9-race program there on Sunday. Of course, the feature will be race number 8, the Marlborough Cup, over the 3,200 metres. Expressive Victor, of course, won the first day today. Highview Freddie will go round again. Similar field to the first day. Tijuana Bromac will your back marker off 40 metres placed as well. Good to see Franco Cristiano back on the track today at Blenheim, and very impressive. He'll back up in race number 7. Robert Dunn talking to him last week, said he thinks he'll win 3 or 4 before the end of the season, and the way he won today, he'd be very hard to beat on Sunday. Takes on Hyper Velocity from the Paul Court team, who again is a nice 3-year-old. So those fields out on HRNZ for Sunday. Make sure you get involved there. pick 6 is worth $50,000 on Sunday afternoon. The first there kicking off 11:45 in the morning on a 9-race program. Pick 6 starts race number 4. Aaron White, a very good evening to you. Thanks for your help tonight, mate. It's been a long night. I think it was here at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and what are we kicking on to around about 11:15 tonight? So no overtime for the hard workers. I know Michael's been in the studio doing the hard yards. What are we taking the last? Are we with Urban Tiger for one last chance?
He deserves a maiden victory. It should come tonight. Brent Mangos doing the driving there. So, well, in the camp of Urban Tiger. It's been a good night here. Of course, midwinter Christmas at the races here at Alexandra Park. It runs for the next 3 weeks as well. So get involved, alexpark.co.nz, to get involved with midwinter Christmas at the races right here at the park. And, you get the live band after the last. So I'm pretty sure that the guests on track will take that into the wee small hours of the morning as well. Urban Tiger for me over the 2 Rarks Mark. All runs since coming north have been good by the Mark 3 Gelding, Simon Lawson. And the 1 Mark of Integrity, plenty to like about what he's produced in 2 runs thus far. Comes up to the right draw, Zach Butcher. And 7 Steady Rain, a Real Desire trial-winning gelding on debut. Maurice McKendry for Frank Cooney and Tate Hopkins. 4, 2, 1 and 7. Certainly has been a good night of racing tonight, Craig. Go back to Ideal Flip Flop in race number 2. 2:40 he went tonight. That was a pretty good effort. First look at Alexandra Park.
Absolutely, Aaron. They were set up pretty breakneck speed. I think the lead-up time was 41. Disappointment out of that race was the second favourite, Mo Casino. But 2:40, very good time. Ideal flip-flop. I'm sure that form out of that race will stack up. Feature race tonight taken out by Hug the Wind off the back mark of 20 metres for Barry Purdon and Brett Mangos, the Winter Cup. The last tonight, good luck if you're live in pick 6. There's 7 units going into the last. Favourite way is with Urban Tiger in the red colours from barrier number 4 for the last time. Here's our
in the REM Systems mobile pace. 2 1/4 laps under the ribbon of light here at Alexandra Park to wrap up the evening's action for midwinter Christmas at the races night 1. We do it all again next Friday night in a fortnight and 3 weeks' time. So 4 nights of midwinter Christmas at the races. Plenty of people booked in. If you want to book in, alexpark.co.nz. Hug the Wind took the Winter Cup tonight. We're set for the last. Green lights up, they're racing. And coming out strongly, Urban Tiger. Back on the inside, Mark of Integrity. To get off the arm nicely, but Urban Tiger now stoked up by Mango. And as they slide onto the stables corner, will take over. Rarks Mark is third. There followed Machine Guns and Gems, and then Sky Diamond. There followed Steady Rain back second last, and the other debutant, Klondike Spirit, is back last. Out to the 1800 metres, and Urban Tiger, the colt by Better's Delight, leads a length and a half over Mark of Integrity. There's 3 lengths away to Rarks Mark, a similar margin, Machine Guns and Gems, and they're followed by Sky Diamond, Steady Rain and Klondike Spirit. Through the back they go, 1600 metres out in the REM Systems pace, and the lead time in 44.4, so Urban Tiger getting away with a nice lead as he turns off the back, leads by a couple. From in second is Mark of Integrity, and third 3 back on the inside as they run an Indian File Rarks Mark. Machine Guns and Gems is the next, followed then by Sky Diamond. Steady Rain is back second last, and Klondike Spirit 2 lengths off at the tail. So they work into the lane, a lap and a quarter left to go, and the leader is Urban Tiger, the race favourite, and leads by a length and a half, still over Mark of Integrity. Zach Butcher with the lovely drag in the trail, then Rarks Mark. Machine Guns and Gems opening quarter 33.8. Starting to slide forward on the outside is Sky Diamond, the 2-year-old son of American Ideal, and the Chief David Butcher. Into the 1-1 goes Steady Rain, and Klondike Spirit onto the back of Steady Rain as they get around the stables corner there. Final time. Urban Tiger leads Mark of Integrity. Up on the outside, Sky Diamond has moved to third in the park spot. Then Rarks Mark, Steady Rain 1-1, Machine Guns and Gems, and Klondike Spirit 32.7 the second quarter. Oh, it's at a 66.5 half. How will they beat Urban Tiger off the front with a time like that? We'll see if they can. Mark of Integrity's got his back. Up on the outside then to Sky Diamond. 3 back on the inside is Rarks Mark, all dressed up, no nowhere to go for Lawson. Travels well. Up on the outside to Steady Rain. Then Klondike Spirit on the outside of Machine Guns and Gems. 400 to go. Urban Tiger, 30.6 was a back straight quarter. And leads by 2. Slips away Mark of Integrity. Rarks Mark about to get out now is dropping away. Sky Diamond homeward bound. Urban Tiger, Mark of Integrity comes to the outside. Then Rarks Mark, Urban Tiger, Mark of Integrity. He comes strongly the outside. Urban Tiger, Mark of Integrity, Rarks Mark dashing late as well. Urban Tiger, Rarks Mark flies late, gets him on the line. Rarks Mark will get up from Urban Tiger. Mark of Integrity for third. Photos for fourth. Back on the inside then Machine Guns and Gems. With it was Steady Rain. They were followed by Sky Diamond and Klondike Spirit to be the last to greet Judge Graham McLennan tonight. 58, 27.3. The half and quarter arrives in time. Rarks Mark, the Mark III gelding. Simon Lawson for Gareth Dixon. And the Fahey's along with Mrs. Sinclair, the owners, win one at start 21 and really dashed the last 50 metres. Urban Tiger was all out at the 100. Mark of Integrity came up to a challenge. Rarks Mark has the final shot. Final stride will get over the top of Urban Tiger to take the REM Systems Mobile Pace. Urban Tiger second, Mark of Integrity third. Machine Guns and Gems to make up the first four in the last.
Official placings, race 12, the REM Systems Mobile Pace, 241367, 241367. Horse 2, Rarks Mark, pace the 2200 metres in 248.95, mile rate of 23.5. Last 858, the 427.3. The margins ahead, a half neck, 6 lengths. 241367, race 12, all official REM Systems Mobile Pace.
Final call of the night from Judge Graham McLennan goes the way of Rarks Mark to come back at the head of the field. Raced by the Fahey's, Breeder BJ, along with Mrs. BA, BA, SM, NJ, and Mrs. R.A. Sinclair. Gareth Dixon trained at Pukekohe and Simon Lawson, and caps off some pretty good form since arriving north. Rarks Mark with tonight's victory starts at 21 tonight and gets the first photo on the wall, dashing late back at the head of the field. Paul Lowther down there, race night steward of the Auckland Trotting Club, part of the victory celebrations. For Urban Tiger, Better's Delight, Tiger D on 3-year-old bay colt for a second. Raced by the Turners, Mrs. PL along with LA, and KR Shadbolt and MA Hansen. Brent Mangos, the trainer-driver out of Pukekohe. And for third, number 1, Mark of Integrity, McCardle, 2-year-old bay gelding out of Faith Filly. Raced by SM Leaf along with MD Habgood. Stephen Reid, Simon McMullen trained at Pookie, and Zach Butcher. Number 2, Rarks Mark in the last returns $5.60 and $2.80, $5.60 and $2.80. For Urban Tiger, $1.40, $1.40. And for third, number 1, Mark of Integrity, no third. Dividend, Quinella, $3.70, $3.70. Trifecta, $27.30, $27.30. And the first four, $96.50, $96.50. 10 and 2 in the final double at $9.60, $9.60. The concession 10 and 4, $3.70, $3.70. 7, 10 and 2, the final treble, $17.90, $17.90. The final quaddie on the card tonight, 4, 7, 10 and 2, $430 even, $430. Play 6 tonight, $51.20, $51.20. Pick 6 has been struck by 2.12 winning units, $18,867.90. $18,867.90 for 2.12. Winning units in pick 6. 11 Hug the Wind, 5 Sunset Peak, 4 Whitecliff Chapel, 7 First Home, 10 War Machine and 2 Rarks Mark. 2.12 winning units in pick 6, $18,867.90. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we trust you've enjoyed the Smith & Partners Lawyers Winter Cup race night. The Cup going the way of Hug the Wind, also our Midwinter Christmas at the Races team. Of course, we'll have you back here next Friday night, the 1st of July. We look forward to seeing you back here under the ribbon of light from the commentary box. Aaron White bidding you all a very good evening.